having a game open, because you know this is one of those rare just chatting streams. The thing is, maybe I will game a little bit afterwards, depending on how long this takes, because these are like 100 game series or franchises, whatever you want to call them, and there's also going to be 100 anime that I want to talk about, where basically, you know, it's a simple concept. Why do you look at this? What is your variety gamer score? And then which of the game series did you play at least one game of? 1 point per box checked. And there's 100 games, or 100 franchises, and for every franchise you get a point, which obviously it's not a high score. Wait, why is my paint looking like this? Is it because I'm... What the fuck? Okay, my paint is not wanting to... Okay, there we go back. You know, use my desktop a little bit. Luckily I didn't have a Kuma desktop, and you know, the stuff on the desktop was like to sort a little bit of my Play 2 fan art folder and stuff. So yeah. Wait. If I draw something on here, like, okay, it doesn't work. Okay. So basically, why not just start, right? So basically, the first game that we have on this list is Mario Bros. No, obviously Mario Bros. I've played a few of those games. I played even more, yeah, I mean, I played more than just a few of the Mario Bros. Games, because, well, who hasn't played at least one single Mario Bros. Game? The thing is, it's also one of my first games I've ever played, because it kind of started there. My grandma had a Super Nintendo, which kind of belonged to like my uncle, and they lived like beside each other in like an apartment complex thingy, and they had Mario All-Stars and World, but I never really played that much World. But it was like Mario All-Stars was like the first time I saw and played Mario, and it made me think, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, especially since it was crazy, since it had all of those games. Mario All-Stars had Mario 1, Mario Lost Levels, Mario 2, USA, whatever, and Mario Bros. 3. And each of these games were like so different, except if you play Lost Levels, which I haven't done much. The thing is, mostly I played Mario Bros. 1. I don't know why I never really played 3 much. Maybe it's because I always wanted to, you know, play 1 first, then 2, and then 3. And, you know, as a kid, it is a game that really makes you think, holy shit, this takes a long time. And obviously, when you visit your grandma, you can't play the whole freaking day. So you just sit there, and then, you know, your parents and your grandma and everyone is talking, and then the kids can play on the console and have fun. That's how it was. And that was the first time I played Mario. And then obviously I got a Game Boy in 1999. I don't know when I got the Mario Land games, but I got Mario Land 1 and 2 for the Game Boy. And those were like the first Mario games I owned myself, and I loved them. Obviously Mario Land 2 was, for me, more fun than Mario Land 1. Not to say that Mario Land was bad, but Mario Land 1 was just, you know, pretty simple, and Mario Land 2 introduced like so many new things. It introduced like, well, the rabbit thing, which never returned, like the bunny ears. But it had this very weird feeling that it never felt like this again. Mario Land 2 is like a game that doesn't feel like it's truly a Mario game, because it's kind of like so much different in all the other games, and it has like so many different enemies that never return, like the ants, the Halloween enemies, obviously Jason, the masked little dudes, obviously can't... I guess, you know, there could be like copyright stuff, even though I'm pretty sure the Jason mask is like such a big thing nowadays that it wouldn't necessarily mean, you know, you're gonna get copyright strike. And they even had Dracula, and all the levels feel like new. It wasn't like the typical, you know, oh, you go through the desert level, you go through the forest level, which Mario then turned into basically with the other 2D games. And yeah, and the first 3D Mario game I had myself, but first obviously Mario 64. I never had a Nintendo 64 myself, but after school I visited a friend most of the time, and he had a Nintendo 64, and he had Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Smash Bros, Pokemon Stadium, and all that stuff, and we played Mario 64. And it was like a magical moment. Like most people say, you know, they were already like, wow, I saw Mario in the... Back in the day, you had like these demo disc stations inside the store where you can play games. And, you know, I never played Nintendo 64 in a game like in a store like that. I never even played on the PlayStation 2 or GameCube once, because I don't know, like it feels weird to stand in like a store and then play a little bit of a video game in there, and it's like, I don't know. I was always a shy kid who didn't want to be seen, so I kind of sometimes wanted to play it and test it, but most of the time, I think there was one time where me and my friends saw like Guitar Hero, and we tried a little bit on that, but I never really played that either. I mean, I played Guitar Hero, but I didn't play it in the house thingy in the store. And basically, it blew my mind, you know, Mario in 3D, especially since, you know, I never really had him. I mean, it could have been my first 3D game. visiting him. Like, I'm not quite sure which one was like the actual first 3D game I've played, but Mario 64 must be up there somewhere. Since I never had a 3D console until the GameCube, which I've got for Christmas. It was like a gift for me and my sister, but it was mostly me gaming on it. And eventually we got Mario Sunshine on there too, which then was my first 3D Mario that I actually owned, while the first 3D Mario I played was at my friend's house. And Sunshine, as a kid, you didn't mind it. Like, I never beat it as a kid. For some reason, you know, it was like hard. Like, the one level that really filtered me was the level with the Manta Ray that attacks to hotel. Eventually, I've beaten him. Like, you have to clean up and stuff like that. And I don't know why I got stuck so much. Like, last time I replayed Mario Sunshine, and it was like first try, and it's like, how the fuck did I lose as a kid at that point? And it was kind of weird. But basically, I loved the game as much as I could have played. I never got like 100. I got 100% like a few years after that, but not as a kid anymore. And I have to tell you, the 100% reward for Mario Sunshine is a waste. The thing is, basically every hacking Nintendo game is never worth 200%. Like, it's fun to get to the 100%, but you can't expect a single good reward. Like, if the reward is to give the fan, like, whoa, look at all these characters having a nice vacation now, a picture of that with every NPC on there, it's kind of soulful, but at the same time, you know, you kind of want to have like a new costume at least, and you don't even get that. A new costume would have been nice, you know, like you can get the sunglasses in Sunshine, but aside from that, there's not really much you can do. And yeah, after that, you know, I have to drop it. Mario Galaxy, amazing game. Mario Galaxy 2, even amazinger. That's not a word, but you know, it's kind of a word. I mean, everyone knows what it means when you say it's more amazingly. Obviously, after that, 3D World, I played it on an emulator because I never had a Wii U. I didn't want to buy it full price on the Switch. Fun game, but it's not like, I kind of prefer the other aspect of 3D Mario. But it's because the worlds are connected, kinda. Like, the thing is, if you think about it, Mario 64 also is just, you go into a painting, but there's like a reason why it is like that. Why do you go into a painting, and the painting comes to life, and it's like a floating island in the sky and stuff like that, and it makes sense. But in 3D World, it has like this feel of a 2D level that is in 3D obviously, but it feels like so disconnected from an overall world. I would really like a 3D Mario game where everything is connected. Like, basically like something like an open world jumping one. Obviously it doesn't sound as great as a well-crafted level, but you know, I would have faith in Nintendo to actually make it happen. Like, if you sometimes look at the Mario Kart 8 tracks, imagine like the town levels or the town tracks in actual Jumpin' 1 levels. That would be amazing. Like, the look of Mario Kart 8 with a Jumpin' 1, like New Donk 60, but bigger, much bigger. That's what I would kind of want from the next 3D Mario game. And obviously Odyssey, also a great, amazing game, and obviously there's a lot of spin-offs with Mario. I mean, if you have ever played a video game before, you have at least played a single Mario game. It doesn't matter which one, but you have played one. It's unbelievably impossible to kind of game and never have played a Mario game. You have. It doesn't matter, spin-off, whatever. The thing is, maybe I should just go through here randomly, because the thing is, I talked about Mario like for 10 minutes now, and the thing is, I could talk about 20 minutes about Zelda, 30 minutes about Pokemon, so I will just pick a random thing and go from there. You know, just randomly going through it. Castlevania, for example. I played Castlevania when I was, I mean, I only recently played them, really. I think back in the day I tried a few on the emulator, but I never got far. But recently I beat Castlevania 1 on Stream 2, and I also played the Rebirth 1. I also tried a few of the PlayStation 2 ones, but I never really got too far into them. Also, how is this like an extended version of Bomberman Hero? Or it is extended, so that kind of sucks to have in a playlist. And Castlevania is a pretty fun franchise, but it's also like kind of hard. But obviously, in a way, that's like the point. Like, when you play more retro games, they are supposed to be hard. Obviously, you know nowadays you can use save states and everything like that, but I personally don't like using save states. Save states using for me is kind of like, yeah, why even play it then? Like, if a game is supposed to be hard, I don't want to make it easier for myself, in a way. Like, obviously, if I get stuck, I will get stuck as hard as I can till I actually beat the part where I got stuck. Other than that, the thing is, I also played Castlevania Judgment at a friend's house once, and, I can tell you that is a game that gets, it doesn't really get hated on, it's getting more memed on, because obviously it's the designs are like by the Death Note guy, and they kind of, I kind of enjoy them. Like, I kind of like this very over-designed stuff. Maybe just because I like the art stuff of Death Note and Bakuman, and recently, what was the other thing they recently made? It also got an anime, Platinum's End. I kind of like the art style of these things, but obviously, after Death Note, they never really made me think, yeah. It's always like two people working together, like the one guy is making like the dialogue, the story, and the other guy is like doing the art style, and it's always the same art style, obviously, because it's his art style. But not much to say. Like, I never really got, I played Super Castlevania 4, or Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo 2, that I've beaten that too when I emulated it back in the day. Back in the day, that sounds like so far into the past, but it was more like 7 years ago. That was also the first time I actually played it. And then obviously I went back in time. I think it was because of the Angry Video Game Nerd video, where I was like, holy shit, this looks like amazing, and I played it and was like, wow, this is amazing. And then you go back to the older ones, and then obviously your movement is way worse. Like, not worse, but it's more, not janky, it's not as interactive, like, one jump, you can't unjump it anymore. You do the jump and bam, you have to live with the consequences that maybe happen after you did the jump. So yeah, I played some Castlevania games. Obviously, I also want to like try out these 3D games like Lord of Shadows. Like I said, I played the PlayStation 2 ones. I think there's two, but I never got too far into them, like an hour. I think it was also because my PC couldn't handle the emulation yet. Now I have a new CPU, so it could actually work. The thing is, I played Rayman games. I never played the first one, and I never played Rayman 2 and 3 either till a few months ago, where I tried playing Rayman 2 on the GOG version, with the patches and everything, and it still was kind of janky. And I hate this thing where you play an older PC game and it makes your one like, sometimes you have the problem with like two monitors where it puts everything else onto the second monitor and the game onto the first one, and then only that, and every time you tap out it shuffles it around again, and I don't like it angle light and voodoo 3D stuff to make it work. It kind of worked, but it was like too much fucking around. The thing is, I should have just emulated the Dreamcast version, because I always read the PlayStation 2 version is the worst one. The Nintendo 64 version is like okay, and then the shitty PlayStation 1 version is like really bad. The PlayStation 2 version for some reason wants it like half the frames of the Dreamcast one, and it's like also called Rayman Revolution or something, and I should have just emulated the PlayStation, the Dreamcast version, and maybe I will eventually do that again when I really feel like, hey, I want to go back to Rayman. And recently, like a month ago, I tried playing Rayman 3, which I didn't enjoy. Like, for some reason, it felt like way worse than Rayman 2. I don't know, maybe I had a bad day and it wasn't the game's fault, but Rayman 3 felt like, it didn't felt as nice. It was like, you get all these different attack things way too early in the game, and it's like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, and it's like, okay. And I played like an hour up and I was like, yeah, maybe I had a bad day. The thing is, Gran Turismo, I played the third one and I played the fourth one at a friend's home. Gran Turismo 5 was for PlayStation 3, right? Or was Gran Turismo 3, 5. And I still own it. I have like the A-Spec version, even though I'm pretty sure that's like how it's always called, like Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. And the thing is, it came with my PlayStation 2 in like the Platinum version, so it's pretty ugly. And I played a little bit of it, but even as a kid, I'm still not much of a racing fan, and it's way too realistic for me. Like, I don't like realistic racing games. Ridge Racer 4 for the PlayStation 1 is like okay one. It feels like arcadey, but also realistic. But Gran Turismo is like realistic as heck. But the thing is, I played a little bit of it because obviously I didn't really had other games yet on my PlayStation 2, because I think my parents got it for me used, and I think it came like with Gran Turismo then, and the other game was, I'm not even quite sure. Was it one of the Ratchet and Clank games? I'm not quite sure which other game I had. Maybe I only had Gran Turismo at the start, but I know I had it from the start. And yeah, never got too far into it because driving is not really much. It's not that much fun for me. Tony Hawk, really nice game. The thing is, I have a story with the first Tony Hawk game I played. I think maybe this is also one of the reasons why I like Underground 1 the most. But I think it's not just because of that, but you know, there was like a new MediaMarkt. MediaMarkt is like an electronics store that is big in Germany. I think it also is in other countries in Europe. And they opened up a new one that was like close to us kinda. So for some reason my parents took me there at like 6 a.m. in the morning because they were just opening it and there were like so many good sales. And it was on a school day. And I don't know why they did it, but on that school day they took me there, and then we obviously drove back home after it, and then I still had to go to school afterwards. And they allowed me to pick a game. I'm pretty sure I could have picked a full price game, but at this time, Tony Hawk's Underground 1 was already like a platinum version. I think I have the platinum version for the PlayStation 2, and I picked it. I think I was allowed to pick 2 games. No, I think I was only having Tony Hawk's Underground with that thing. And it was my first Tony Hawk's game, and I don't even know why I took it. I didn't even skate at that time. Why did my model just stop? My hair is like falling in. I need a haircut. My hair is like falling back into my face all the time, and it kind of breaks because I have to make it out of my face. I wasn't even in skateboarding yet, but I picked it and I was like, wow, this is fun. You know, obviously there's like these really janky driving stages sometimes, and walking around felt also a little bit janky, but it's really fun. Great soundtrack, really fun, everything basically. And obviously Eric Sparrow can suck. No, wait, that would be kind of, you know, the instant of telling someone to suck a dick is kind of, you know, sucking a dick is a good thing. So Eric Sparrow can go and jump off a cliff, but he gets saved, and maybe he changes as a person, hopefully, because he's one of those worst freaking video game villains of all time, stealing your tape and shit. And I thought, you know, this is a great game. And then obviously Tony Hawk Underground 2 came out, and the thing is, that's one of those games I got fairly close to release, but I got it from the video store in the used game section for $20. Like, I would have never gotten a full price game. I mean, sometimes I never really asked for them. Like, I always was like, yeah, you know, I got my games from the flea market, video store, budget stuff, or like cheap ones, you know, that are like not full price anymore. And it was there after a few weeks after release already for like $20, even though it's like in perfect condition. I mean, normal condition is probably also still perfect. Obviously it's not worth a lot, but... And I wanted it. And then I got it. And I think this was also before school again for some reason. Nah. I'm mixing something up. And then I got the game. And Tony Hawk's Underground 2 is as much fun as the first one, but, you know, more crazy, you know? It was like, hey, we have the people from Jackass and other MTV shows that were crazy, so we have to make the game more crazy too. Obviously, I think I like the more grounded aspect of Tony Hawk's Underground 1. And then obviously, a few years later, there was American Racing, which I didn't had yet. But I got it on PC, and they're like the jewel case thing for like $5 because a friend got it and we wanted to play together online, and we did it like a couple of times, and it was fun. American Wasteland is not as great as like the first 2 Underground games, but it was still fun. And then afterwards, there was nothing else. Between that, I also played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for the PC. And, you know, that's just maybe one of the reasons why I never got into them before Underground, because I never wanted like this 2-minute cooldown thing. Like, basically, the early games have like, hey, you get 2 minutes, and in these 2 minutes, you collect this, you make this combo, and you do all of these things, and it makes you think, yeah, I don't want it to have a time on it. And that's why I never really got into them before, I guess. And, you know, back in the day, I also read the Game Pro, because the Game Pro was magazine, like, I mean, Americans have the Game Pro too, right? But it's like the Americanized version of the Game Pro, but we have the German Game Pro, and I even had the abonnement, the subscription to it, and it was really hacking fun to read. And why am I bringing this up even? The thing is, basically what I wanted to say is that I never really got bad games, because I already started reading magazines at a fairly young age, and with those magazines, it's kind of hard to take really bad games with you, especially since one of the two reviewers that I always read the tests of or the reviews of the most were really good people with really good taste. So I always, when this person liked the game, I knew for a fact that it would also be a good game for me. Yeah, Tony Hawk's, and then after American Wasteland, there was a wasteland of Tony Hawk's games because Skate came out, and I switched to the Skate games because the Tony Hawk games in general, they never evolved. Like there was like Project 8, and then there was this one where it came with a skateboard peripheral. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam or something like that for the Wii is also something I still want to play. People say it's like underrated. It also has a PlayStation 2 version, but I want to play the Wii version, which I'm gonna do soon. Hopefully it won't be too bad. The thing is, the Resident Evil games, I played the remake at a friend's house. It was the same friend with like the Nintendo 64. We never had the original. And yeah, Resident Evil is one of those franchises I never got too much into. I only recently played Resident Evil 4 for the first time ever. I didn't beat it though, I just kind of dropped it. I was on the Wii because I think the Wii with the pointer controls are like the best version. Obviously on a keyboard, mouse and stuff, it probably feels just as nice to aim, but the first PC port of Resident Evil 4 kind of made me scared of it. But they fixed it, or they released like a totally new version, but the first PC port of Resident Evil 4 was like totally fucked. Never played Resident Evil 2, never played Resident Evil 3, never played 5. I played 6 with a friend though. We played for the Leon campaign together. It was, with a friend, everything is more fun. And obviously, since I wasn't like the biggest Resident Evil fan, I couldn't say like, oh, they ruined the franchise for me. And then Resident Evil 7 and 8 kind of look, I don't know, I can't really. Resident Evil is never really a franchise that ever made me think like, yeah, I have to try out more of these games. So maybe one day I will try to play like the 2 and 3, not the remake of 3, but like the original, and maybe Resident Evil 2 and the remake of 2 one day. One day I will truly do it. The thing is, I played Soul Calibur 2, obviously for Nintendo fans. It had Link. I went in from the video game store or the video store because it was mostly movies. It was okay. The thing is, I'm not a big fighting game fan, just like racing. It's not a genre that really speaks to me, especially older games that didn't even have online. Like as a kid, I would have sat there beating up CPUs. It would mostly beat me up because I would be bad at the game. So, it wasn't something that made me think, hey, time for some Soul Calibur or Tekken or whatever. So I played these. Oh, the thing is, I bought 6 on Steam for full price. I don't know why. I was like, hey, why not give this series a try again? And it was before they announced it to be DLC, and then they announced it, and I was like, holy shit, I can go back to the game to have a reason to play it again, because I spent like $60 on it. So I spent another $5, or I think it was $5 for each new character to buy the 2B character DLC. And I played like 1 more hour and it was like, yeah, this taught me the lesson of never ever trying to buy a fighting game again. And I kept it like that. Since that day, I have never bought another fighting game, and I will keep it that way. Even Yuri Han's feed from Suicide 6 that will come out soon can't convince me that I should play another fighting game. I was really close to buying Guilty Gear Strive 2, but I was like, nah, this is over. No more fighting games for me. Fighting games are not something I will ever play again, except Smash. And the thing is, maybe if there's like a new fighting game that does something completely new, then I maybe will look into it and think like, maybe. But overall, nope, no more fighting games for me. For example, let's go random here. Need for Speed. I played Need for Speed Underground 1 from the video store sometimes for the GameCube, and then I also got Need for Speed Underground 2 for the PlayStation 2, and that's where it already ends for me because I never played Most Wanted. And after Most Wanted, most would say it kind of went to poop anyways, with like Carbone was after that. And then after Carbone, it made like the jump over to the next generation, and then it was like, they lost me. Like didn't they make like a new Hot Pursuit or a new this and that? I think I played Hot Pursuit once for the PlayStation 2 too, but I'm not quite sure. And yeah, not much to say except that I like the Underground games, mostly because, you know, you can customize your cars so much on them, especially in Underground 2, and it had an open world that didn't really add much. In Underground 1, you still kind of selected your missions and then you do the races. In Underground 2, they were like, hey, you have to drive from here to there to actually get to the race, and then, you know, photo shootings and everything, you know. It was fun, never beat it though, and you know, mostly because there was like one race that was like really hard and I didn't need to do it, but I wanted to do it anyways, and the rubber banding was like insane, and I just dropped it, I guess. Like at a specific point, racing games just make me think, why do I continue to race even more when I'm already racing so much? So, Age of Empires, I played the second one. It came free on like a PC computer built Spiele CD, you know, back in the day when PC magazines had like DVDs, and on every DVD there was like one full game and like a lot of demos and freeware games and videos, and Age of Empires 2 was like on one of those discs, and I never played it too much. I tried a few online games of it, but again, just like racing and fighting games, real-time strategy games, or strategy games in general like that, never made me think like, wow, this is it. There was another game like this, like Cossacks 2, which I played more of than Age of Empires 2, or Age of Empires in general, but mostly offline, and for some reason it was kind of fun. I love to build walls. That's kind of the only reason why I booted it up a lot. And yeah, Age of Empires has a cool idea though, with like all these things where you basically, you know, where you do the thing, where you do the thing, where you do the thing. Where you basically go into the future every time you upgrade, and then, you know, instead of having spears, you actually have guns now, and then after guns, you have like freaking nukes and stuff. But obviously, I think if I would play it online, I would never get to a point where people get like involved into such a good thing, because I would lose before that already, so. So, next, let's go to Medal of Honor. Again, never owned these games, because the thing is, my parents were also kind of strict about the games I would be allowed to play. I wasn't allowed to play like shooter games, or let's just say I wasn't allowed to play games that went for my age, obviously. Medal of Honor was one of those. Was it Rising Sun? Like, there's like two on the GameCube, right? Like Rising Sun and Frontlines or something. Like, my friend had the one that has like this guy on the cover with the rifle in hand. I think it's, I don't know which one it is. But I played it there once. Like, obviously, the thing is, I played it. Obviously, you know, the question is like, how do you say that you play the game or whatever? If I played it for like an hour, it should count, right? Never played the single player, but I played a little bit of the multiplayer. And yeah, but did it, like, for some reason I'm like so good. It had a multiplayer, right? Medal of Honor multiplayer, GameCube. Like, yeah, Rising Sun, Frontline. Yeah, Frontline is the one. Medal of Honor, Frontline, Nintendo GameCube, multiplayer madness. One thing I don't understand, what is like why do people say GCN? Why isn't the N in the front? Like, GameCube, Nintendo, why is it not NG? For Nintendo GameCube? Wouldn't it make like way more sense? I don't get that thing. But yeah, Medal of Honor, not much to say. I played the first Bayonetta, I own it, but now here's the thing. I own Bayonetta 1 for the PlayStation 3. And that is like the worst version of the game, especially nowadays, since there's PC versions, Switch versions, everything. And I never got too much into it anyways. The thing is, I went to like the airplane level, and before the airplane level there was like this driving section with the bike. And it wasn't like too bad, but then I never connected with the game. That's all I can say. The aesthetic is okay, music is really good, and though the songs are great. Bayonetta as a character is okay, I guess, but just not something that ever made me think like, yeah, this is my jam. Obviously, maybe one day I will try the second one, or try to get back into the second one too. But for now, it's on my list of games I will eventually return to one day. The thing is, Persona is I have to say it, most boring video game franchise I've ever played. I've tried getting into Persona 3. I fell asleep. I tried getting into Persona 4. I fell asleep. they have the most slow and boring beginnings of any game I've ever played. Like, it is just so boring. I know JRPGs sometimes have a slow start, but this is like double slow. It's like so slow it makes me think. I didn't even know what to say. Like in Persona 4, I got to like the first Shadow Dungeon thing where you go to the TV. And in Persona 3, I got into like when you first go to the Tartarus, and I was like, yeah, I can't. It's maybe one day I will try to give them a chance again. The thing is, before Persona 5 came out, I was like, hey, maybe I should pre-order this for my PlayStation 3, you know, because I didn't have a PlayStation 4 yet. And I did a good job in not actually buying it. And the thing is, nowadays, sometimes I think, you know, if I ever see Persona 5 on a sale like for Switch or Steam, maybe I will be like, yeah, for 20 bucks I will try that one, but unlikely. The thing is, Ninja Gaiden, I have the first Sigma game for the PlayStation 3, which is obviously not the greatest version of Ninja Gaiden to play, because it's just, well, worse than the original Ninja Gaiden Black Xbox version, but it was fun. I never beaten it. Eventually, you know, you can probably guess, I dropped it, not because it's bad or because I got filtered, it just, sometimes you stop playing a game and you never return to the game, and then you want to return to the game and then you have to start from the start again because you kind of forgot the controls and everything. And you know, maybe one day, but I guess nowadays I would just play the Ninja Gaiden collection thing for the PC if I find it nicely on a sale. And the thing is, I also played the first Ninja Gaiden on an emulator for the Nintendo. Never tried the other ones because that was like such a long time ago that I got filtered so hard on the first one. I was like, yeah, never playing these games again, but I would like to, because nowadays I think I'm way better at jumping ones, and obviously it's not just a simple jumping one, but also you kill. And maybe one day I will return and try to beat the Ninja Gaiden games. I think the first two are not that hard, or people say they're not hard if you actually get through them to the boss and stuff, but the third one has like, you have to do the whole stage again when you died at the end of it. It's like kind of like Castlevania 3, where instead of just respawning in front of the boss, Ape Escape 3 complete soundtrack. Why is it in my play? That's not in my playlist. Where did my playlist disappear to? Like here, I have my playlist, like chill video game music, and it's like the last song in it, and because of that it just decided fail. Wait, I have a longer one, but it's not my original self-made one, but it's like no, wait, chill Halloween horror playlist, no, chill winter wait, this person uploads like a lot of relaxing video game soundtracks. There we go, chill video game shuffle playlist and do playlist. And there's like 2K songs, so it should be fine. Yeah, basically Ninja Gaiden. Prince of Persia is actually the first one that I'm actually actively looking at, which I've never played a game of. The thing is, I played the very first version of Prince of Persia on an emulator once for some reason, but I wouldn't count it. I literally played it for 2 seconds, felt the controls, and was like, yeah, I leave. A series I always wanted to try out with Sense of Time, and after that it went into this edgy thing, which kind of appealed to me. You know, it had like Godsmack trailers, and they show a lot of asses, very nice asses though. Also very edgy. It seems like something that would have been up my alley when I was younger, but you know, I never did it, and now I kind of want to soon. Assume I will play them. Max Payne, I played the first one and the second one when I was younger. For some reason, I tried out the first one. The thing is, for some reason, there's like the subway level, which is kind of fairly early on in the game. And in that subway level, I kind of got stuck, and I didn't find a way out again for some reason. And then I kind of dropped it, and then I played the second one. Also, again, I enjoyed it, you know, but I think I peed my pants too much from like the baby levels, where the baby, you know, it was Max's, right? Where you have like these nightmare things. I can't remember it too well anymore, and yeah, that's basically all I can say about Max Payne. So I played it, but not too far, but I should play them again. And Max Payne 3, I also want to play. The thing is, I always see that people complain about the unskippable cutscenes, but I guess it only really sucks if you replay a game, because if you play it for the first time, obviously I kind of want to watch the cutscenes, unless the cutscenes also play when you die. And I'm not that great. I mean, it's not a first-person shooter. I mean, I'm kind of good at first-person shooters, but I'm not that great at third-person shooters. So yeah, one day I will return to Max Payne games and actually finish them for once. And here we go with Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon was a series that is dear to my heart, but the thing is, I played the second one on the Game Boy and Back to Nature. And Back to Nature is still, to this day, my favorite Harvest Moon game. And sadly, it was not a series that actually lasted long for me. Obviously, as a kid, never played the Super Nintendo one or the Nintendo 64 one, even though the Nintendo 64 one is basically just like the PlayStation 1 one, but it is still different. But Back to Nature back in the day was like my game, my comfort game. After school, I would turn it on, play a little bit, then maybe at night a little bit again, or at the evening, not in the night. And it was one of those games I could always just play for a little bit, and it didn't get boring. I think nowadays, if I try to play Back to Nature again, I actually did it, and it feels a little bit more restrictive, obviously, because there's not that much to do. You already know the characters. You know how to exploit, how to make the most money. But the thing is, as a kid, I didn't care. As a kid, it was just perfectly, here I've got it for like half an hour on, and I just enjoy the time with it. And then the problem is, after that, all the Harvest Moon games that came out kinda were Harvest Moon games that made me think, yeah, nah. The first one that came out after Back to Nature, I think, was A Wonderful Life. And this was one of the worst days when it came to video games for me and my sister, I guess. We were allowed to pick 2 games, and I picked A Wonderful Life, Harvest Moon, and my sister picked Pokemon Channel. Obviously, she pulled the shorter straw. Like, Pokemon Channel is not even a game. But Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life felt like so boring in comparison to Back to Nature. Like you didn't have this thing where back in the day as a kid, even then, you played something like Mario on the Super Nintendo, and then you would play Sunshine, and it would make you think, holy shit, this is so different from what it was before, that it blew your mind. But Harvest Moon never had this step for me. Like, going from Back to Nature to A Wonderful Life didn't make me think, holy shit, this looks like next generation is here. It kind of looked worse to me. Obviously, it's not that ugly, but it is a... Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life feels so melancholic with how sad and depressing it looks like to live in a small hacking village. Like, the village was smaller than in Back to Nature, basically. The characters were kind of like not that nice. Everyone was kind of not so nice to you. It made me feel like, as a kid, hey, no, I don't want to hang out with any of these. I don't want to marry any of these women either. And the thing is, as a kid, I never got to the mechanic of also outliving your kid, where you actually marry someone, you go out together, and then you basically die, and you have to take over as a kid. I never got that far, because it was like, feels like you just made the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era of games. No, I'm just going randomly through this. I just started. There's still a lot of games I've played from here, but I just go through here randomly, because it would be boring to talk about Zelda and Pokemon for 2 hours before I even get to the other stuff. And basically, that was the first Harvest Moon game that made me feel despair. It made me feel, Harvest Moon would fall down. And then I bought a Magical Melody in the Netherlands for some reason, because when you live close to the border of Germany to the Netherlands, you can go over there sometimes with your parents and buy cheaper stuff, because coffee there is very cheap. And I was allowed to pick a game, and I picked a Magical Melody. And the thing is, the game is in German, obviously, because it has like 5 languages, but the manual and the backside of my game are in Netherlandish or Hollandish, and I can't read it. But I bought that, and it made me think again, Harvest Moon is freaking dead. Harvest Moon is dead to me. Netherlands best country. It's pretty. And yeah, at that point, Harvest Moon for me was like, yeah, Harvest Moon is dead. I also got like 3 of... The thing is, I kept buying Harvest Moon games, even though I was like, yeah, these games are bad. And then I bought 3 of Tranquility, and it was like, well, it made me think, why? And then I bought what's the English name? The Tierparade. The where you have like lions and giraffes and elephants. I don't think there's elephants, but there's like tigers and stuff. And that was a good Harvest Moon again. And that gave me hope again, but after that, Harvest Moon went like completely off the rails. It turned into a Story of Seasons, but both games are like shit now. Story of Seasons is super boring. Harvest Moon is just shit. It's like one of those things that make me think, yeah, Harvest Moon, I miss you. But the thing about Harvest Moon is, it has way more charm than Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is, it's the better game from a gameplay perspective, but I hate the characters in there, and no one is like fun to hang out with. Like Stardew Valley, if it actually had better characters, maybe it's because I'm a weep. Maybe it's because I'm a weep. You know, like looking at the characters in Stardew Valley makes me think, yeah, I don't want to hang out with them. Maybe it's because I'm a weep. I want to hang out with anime girls. I don't want to hang out with some not so nice looking pixel art dude or woman. So, okay, I've played Half-Life. I played Half-Life 1, and recently I even beat Half-Life 2 on stream. The thing is, I have like bad memories about Half-Life because I got to a point where I kind of fucked my save. Because in old PC games, you did like quick save and everything like that. On an older PC games, you could kind of sometimes run out of ammunition and stuff, and I did the mistake of like running really low on health and making a save, but I haven't saved before that. So the last save was like over an hour ago, and my new save was basically me saving with like 10 HP, which then would make it so that every time I get hit, I literally die. So I saved myself in a position where I couldn't really continue, and I was like, yeah, fuck this. Where's the royalty game? I mean, we're checking it right now. And that's why I never beat Half-Life 1 as a kid. Then when I got older, I beat it, and then I recently beat Half-Life 2. And there will never be a Half-Life 3. And I still have to play the Half-Life episodes one day, maybe. Also, here's one I never played. You know, The Witch. I never played Witcher 1. I played Witcher 1 for like 10 minutes. I quit. I was like, this is shit. Never played the other Witcher games, and I wouldn't even enjoy them. You know, like you can say, wow, but Witcher 3 is like the best game ever made. But no. Every time I see Witcher 3, I'm like, this looks so fucking boring. So, I don't know why I would ever play that. But obviously I played Sonic games, but here's the thing, I never played them as a kid. Maybe this is why I'm normally a normal person. Yep. Wait, check Discord, wait. Where do I have this saved? And is this it? No, that's the one I finished a couple of days ago, but without a video about it. Okay, there it is, here. Wait. There you go. You didn't even say please. I should have not given it. You didn't even say please. What was I talking about? Sonic. I never played Sonic as a kid, and maybe that's why I became so normal. Maybe if I would have played Sonic as a kid, I would have became really weird. But never played a Sonic game till, well, basically till Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam that I played like 2 years ago. Why even just, obviously you saw me play Zelda games, but I'm just going through the list randomly. How is that? How is that not very obvious to see that I'm just randomly looking and picking something instead of literally not going after the first few goals? You literally saw me playing Zelda games, you saw me Pokemon games. Who goes through a list randomly? Me, because otherwise it's boring, because I would talk about Mario Bros for 30 minutes, then I would go to Zelda to talk about Zelda about a fucking hour, because I want to tell about my backstories with the series. I don't just want to say, oh, I played this. I want to talk about why I played them, how I played them, when I first played them, and everything. If that isn't easily seeable. How is that HGHG? I'm gonna punch you so hard into the face that your face will transform into the face of another person. And then you will look worse. Because you're already perfect the way you are. So, because you're trying to make me mad with, like, I have to say this. If I say it like this, you will make a joke, you know? If I say I hate stupid people, you will say like, haha, do you hate yourself then? Haha. But no, I hate like really stupid, I don't hate stupid people, I hate really stupid questions. Like, how can you ask a question that is like so simple to see if you think about this question for 5 seconds? But no, you ask the question to make the person who has to answer it think, why is he asking this question? It makes you think, my blood veins are pumping the blood into my veins so hard, I think they're bursting because of such a stupid question. So, there it is, answered. So, no, you read it! Certainly Hedgehog, I never played it as a kid, that's why I turned out to be a normal person. But the first game I was playing was Adventure 1 or 2. I beat it and I was like, yeah, I'm happy that I didn't play those games as a kid, because that wasn't amazing. And then I also played Sonic 06, which actually isn't as bad as people say it is. I actually enjoyed my time with Sonic 06. And I played a little bit of Sonic Heroes, was also okay. What else did I play? I played I played a little bit of Generations. Generations was okay, but I never played the 2D ones. But I recently downloaded the GameCube collection, the Mega collection, with Sonic 1, 2, 3, whatever, and Sonic Racing and everything, and I'm gonna play that soon. I mean, the thing is, I bought Sonic 1 on the Wii Virtual Console with real money. Like, I actually bought Wii points to buy Sonic 1 on my Wii. I don't know why I did it. I played one level and I quit. Not because I hated it, but because I don't know. I don't know why I never completed it. And am I allowed to drop my hottest take so far? So far I haven't even said a hot take. So that's kinda crazy that I haven't said a hot take, but it is time for a hot take. Portal 1, I've played. Portal 2, no, because it's a Redditor game. I have to say it. Portal 2 is the unfunniest game I've ever seen. Every time I see clips of like people saying like, haha, this is the funniest game ever made, I cringe myself to death with how unfunny the game is. It's the kind of humor that makes the person who wrote the humor think, wow, I'm so witty, I'm the smartest person alive. But no, you're like it's just not funny. I can play through Portal 2 without a single laugh, because it's just not funny. Portal 2, the dialogue destroys the game. Like, if there's a mod for Portal 2 that disables all the dialogue except the one from GLaDOS, I would play it. But everything else about the humor of Portal 2 just makes me think, yeah, I can't play it. I can't play through it. I would rather play Forspoken. I would rather play through a Marvel game. I would rather watch Marvel movies than having to listen to this kind of humor. Portal 2 is like the unfunniest game ever created, known to mankind. Also, Tomb Raider games. I have a funny story here. I own Tomb Raider 3 on the PlayStation 1. And I also I didn't rent it. I think it was like lent from a friend. I had Tomb Raider 2 on... Do I have both? I think I just lent or rented Tomb Raider 2 from a friend on PlayStation 1. But I had Tomb Raider 3 for some reason. Like, Tomb Raider 3 starts like with the jungle level with the apes that kill you. Or try to kill you, and Tomb Raider 2 starts with the China level, the Chinese wall. And the thing is, in Tomb Raider 2, I quit. I cheated. I think I cheated in Tomb Raider 3. It depends on which level or which game has the level. I cheated on both games, I think. Tomb Raider 2 has like this level where you go into these subways and there's like zombie people. They're not really zombies, but it was creepy as fuck. It was like, turn this shit off, because I peed my pants. And Tomb Raider 2, I peed my pants also at the Chinese wall with the tiger at the start. I'm like, whoa, this is spooky, I can't play this. And then I played Tomb Raider 3, and again, you know, I cheated to have the level select. And as a kid, cheating is okay. And every level that I tried playing made me pee my pants. Like, for some reason, Tomb Raider games, when I was a kid, made me pee my pants really fucking hard. I couldn't play them. Like, something about the atmosphere was, like, so dense. It was mostly draw distance, right? Because you can't see far into what's behind something. So everything that jumps at you comes, like, out of the corner, and it's like, wow! And they don't have music really, and it's like, Jesus. Like, Tomb Raider games as a kid made me think, yeah, I can't play these really well. And even when I was older, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Uncharted, I have not played Uncharted, not a single one. Yeah, that's all I can say. I played Mega Man though, and I have never played Mortal Kombat though either. Just to say, I got 69 gamer score. 69. I'm pretty sure I will beat 69. Mega Man. I played Mega Man 1, played Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10, Mega Man X1, Mega Man, yeah, there's a lot of Mega Man 2. The thing is, the only reason why I got into Mega Man was because, here's another thing, I bought Mega Man 2 on the Wii Virtual Console because I watched a Let's Play of it. And this Let's Play was from people that was like, this is the only YouTube channel I've ever really watched. Like, I never really sat in front of a PC going like, wow, I wonder if this person uploaded a new video. But these guys had like a I mean, it was not just a Let's Play channel, it was about the Wii mouse, because they called themselves Ravioli, you know, get it? Ravioli, because it's about the Wii, Ravioli, haha, it's a German channel, by the way. And they made a Let's Play of like Mega Man 2 in like 2007, and I was like, holy shit, this looks like a fun game. And I bought it myself, and it was like, wow, this is hard. But then I beat it, and it was like, wow, was fun. Obviously, I got a little bit spoiled for the Let's Play of it, but it made me think, yeah, Mega Man neat. And then I played the other Mega Man games and stuff, and it made me think, yeah, Mega Man, pretty neat. But then Mega Man kind of died. I mean, I also played Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and Tron Bones Misadventures, and you know, all I can say about that game is that I want to sniff and smell Tron Bones' sweaty pantyhose. It makes me think, wow, that makes me a degenerate. But you know, there's nothing wrong with being a degenerate, because that's the fun part about life, being weird, being different from other people. You know, there's no shame in being that. The thing is, obviously, I've played Worms. The thing is, Worms 3D was the first Worms game I actually owned, because I only played like Worms out of Friends, PlayStation 1. We played like, what is it called? Worms Party Armageddon, and we like playing it. But on PC we always played like something else, but that was later. But the thing is, one time I got like good school grades, and you know, sometimes when I got like good grades, I was allowed to pick a game. You know, obviously, you know, that sounds like I was a pampered kid, but I wasn't. Trust me. And for some reason, I picked Worms 3D once, and I have to say, it's janky as fuck. Worms 3D is like really janky. How is it me being pampered? Worms 3D is like really janky, but really fun. The sad thing is that no friend ever really wanted to play it. We played it like once, and then it was like, yeah, I guess I didn't enjoy it, so I had to play it by myself, with myself, against CPUs and stuff, and they cheat, I think. And it had like destructible walls and everything. I got twos. I got told to stop being lazy and do better. I mean, maybe if you would have written once, you would have gotten games too. And yeah, Worms 3D was fun. And then after that, they kept making 3D ones, which I didn't play. Then they went back to 2D, and then I owned like once just Worms games because a friend gifted it to like 4 people once to play together, and it was Worms, I guess. But before that, we played like Hedge Wars. Hedge Wars is like a freeware version of Worms, but with like hedgehogs. And basically, it was like Worms, but freeware, and you can make your own maps and everything. I think it was also open source, so people could make their own items if they are smart enough to do that. Obviously, we weren't. But yeah, pretty fun. I played Shadow Hearts. I played a little bit of the first one, Shadow Hearts. You know, Shadow Hearts. Obviously, I've also played like the spiritual prequel in Kudelka on the PlayStation 1. I never completed Shadow Hearts 1 on the PlayStation 2, but then I completed Shadow Hearts Covenant, which is the second, or well, it's the sequel, because it plays with the main character kinda. And then there's also Shadow Hearts Dawn from a New World, I think it's called. And it's like completely different. Like, it's Shadow Hearts 1 and 2 and Kudelka are like more like Japanese mythology, and it has like a lot of Chinese mythology too, and it's like kinda, it's not really a horror thing, but it has a lot of spooky things, but it's not really truly spooky. I would recommend it though, because it has a battle system where you have to stop the thing inside of a ring, and it's better than just a normal turn-based combat for me, because it's kind of like it takes a little bit of skill. I never played a Dawn of the New World though, which I want to though. I have it downloaded, and I will maybe play it soon. I would recommend it though. Really underrated kind of JRPG series for people who like horror stuff. Another JRPG series is Shin Megami Tensei, which I've also played, which I kinda enjoyed more than Persona at least. But I have to say, I've only played Shin Megami Tensei 4 and 5, and if it counts the Fire Emblem one, I played a little bit of that too, still have to complete it. Thinking about Shin Megami Tensei is, I played the 5th one the first time, and then after that I tried 4, and 4 I kind of dropped when I got to Tokyo, but I liked it more than 5. Like 5 is like some of the most bland video games I've ever played of all time. Everything except the soundtrack is like really average. I mean, I like the monster designs too, but everything else, the overworld sucks. The combat is pretty generic turn-based combat. And it just made me think, what is like all the deal about? You know, people always say like, oh, Shin Megami Tensei is like the best turn-based JRPG series of all time. It's also super hard, but it's not really hard. It feels like Pokemon. Like, you just need to use the thing that's weak or strong against the other thing. Then you get another turn for yourself, and then you just spam the weakness all the time, and then you kill the enemy, and it's like, I don't get why it's supposed to be so hard. And eventually I just dropped it because the story didn't grab me and nothing about it was really fun. The overworld exploring was bad. I mean, I wouldn't call it disappointment because I didn't really have hopes for it anyways, but if I would have been a fan, I would have been disappointed, but maybe as a fan you wouldn't be disappointed because I don't freaking know. The thing is, I still have to play Shin Megami Tensei 3. It's on my list of games to play and maybe I will enjoy that more. The one thing I didn't like too much about 4 was, I guess, the more dungeon crawly aspect of it, because you go through hallways, but in 3 you also go through hallways, but you do it in 3D. Obviously, I've played a Dead or Alive game, if the extreme games count. I played Dead or Alive 2 at a friend's home once, but never really much. But I played Dead or Alive Extreme. I played a little bit of the Xbox, the first Xbox one, and I tried to make it also run nicely on the second Xbox, like the 360, which I've tried. It crashed a little bit, but sometimes it kind of worked, but sometimes it also didn't work. And the first one, you know, I mean, obviously it should be its own thing because, well, it's a spin-off, but even if the spin-off doesn't count, I still watched both, right? So, or played both, not watched. So, yeah, Dead or Alive. It has really nice girls, you know? That's all I can say at the end, actually. I played a little bit of Phantasy Star. I mean, obviously, if this doesn't count, I only played Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2. I played the PC version a little bit. I also tried playing on the private server. It made me think like, hey, this was kind of hard to make it one. Kind of hard. And you know, it's one of those games that it's really slow. And I also played then on the GameCube a little bit on an emulator, but I also have it on my GameCube now through my Wii. And I kind of want to give it a chance again. I kind of want to beat the game for some reason. Because obviously I still have this quest of beating every GameCube game ever made, but you know, that will maybe take a while. And it's not like the most fun to play. I mean, I also played Phantasy Star Online 2 a little bit. It was like so confusing. There's like so much content already when it came to Europe or America. It makes you think like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Like, what is this? What is that? And there's like so many things, and it makes you think, yeah, I don't know. Never got too much into it. The thing is, Total War, I played Total War Empire. For some reason, even though I did not like those kind of games, at release day I went to MediaMarkt to buy it. I still have it here on my shelf somewhere. I bought like the physical version. It has no reason. I mean, I could have bought it on Steam, but it's also one of the first games I've ever activated on Steam myself after I rested here. And I still don't know why. First off, it didn't run on my PC, and that's why I never got back to it. I bought it, installed it, didn't work on my PC, never played it again. So that was the biggest waste of 60 bucks I've ever done throughout the history in my whole life. Maybe that's another reason why I never played any of the other ones, but well, mostly because I don't like strategy games. I don't know. I mean, it was because I think in a PC magazine they were like, wow, this is the best real-time strategy game ever made so far, and I was like, wow, maybe this one I will like. I learned my lesson though. Yeah, I never played these Saga games, even though they recently got remade, remastered for PlayStation 2 and stuff, or PlayStation Switch. They come from the PlayStation 2. Never played Command and Conquer, but I played Yakuza 0 and no other Yakuza game yet. For some reason, I played Yakuza 0 and it made me think, yeah, this is great. But I think, you need to have a specific cooldown between those. The thing is, I played Yakuza 0 like 2 years ago, so I should actually try to play the other ones now. The thing is, I kind of want to play Yakuza 1 on the PlayStation 2, because the remakes actually kind of delete stuff, and they lack the stuff from the first version, and there's also the good undubbed version, because the first game has like a really bad English dub and bad translation, but fans kind of restored everything, and now it's actually a good translation, and it has the undub for it. So I kind of want to play the PlayStation 2 version of it. And yeah, I read that the remakes from 1 and 2, or mostly the first one, is kind of meh, but the second one is supposed to be kind of good. But I would rather play like the originals, I don't know. Like, if I read that a remake takes out stuff that was in the original game, it makes me automatically not want to replay, or it does not make me want to play the remake, because I think a good remake would not delete any content. So, okay, Far Cry. I played Far Cry 1 and 2. After that, Far Cry became like super duper bad, I guess. I mean, Far Cry 3 was like the first new Far Cry, and then Far Cry 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 19 are basically all the same game. And obviously, Far Cry 1 back in the day was like, holy shit, it was like Crysis before Crysis, also made by the same people basically. I mean, my PC should be able to handle Kiwami too, hopefully, maybe. And Far Cry 1 was like, holy shit, like you saw the graphics and it made you think like, holy shit, this was made by Germans. And obviously Germans are not known to make great games except Gothic. And I played it and was like, I kind of had fun, never really beat it. I think I cheated myself, because the last level is like, suddenly it goes like cyborg in the laboratory and stuff. Or you like fighting inside of a crater or something like that, if I remember right. But obviously I cheated myself there. But the overall island stuff was pretty nice. And in Far Cry 2 I rented out from a friend. Didn't play too much, because it had this stupid thing where the weapons can get jammed. Like, your weapon can just stop being useful and enemies respawn. Like, every time you drive by an enemy base camp thingy, you kill the enemies there, and next time you go there again, they are back again. It's like, why do you do this? I hate respawning enemies. It makes sense to have them, but I hate them. And it was kind of amazing to see, like, it had like fire physics. Like, you can put the grass on fire, and then everything around the grass fires itself up, and it's like, wow. Physics. Also played Fire Emblem. Thing is, the first time I played Fire Emblem was on the Wii, because I went to GameStop with friends and I bought 2 games. No, wait, that was another time. Or was it, I don't know which games I bought together. Like, I bought, in my whole life, I bought 3 games at GameStop. It was No More Heroes 1 for the Wii, it was Disaster Day of Crisis for the Wii, and it was Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn for the Wii. And I bought 2 of them together on one day, and the other one not on that day. And it was the first Fire Emblem game I ever bought, and I got filtered so fucking hard. I went back home with the friends and we put it in and we played it a little bit, and we already got fucked in the first chapter basically. And yeah, the game over sound is like whipped into my ears. The thing is, I never tried playing it since then again, and nowadays it's like worth $100. But the thing is, I paid $10 for this. I literally went to GameStop for like, I literally multiplied my money by 10 times, and obviously it could go even higher soon one day. I mean, maybe, I can check eBay. I think because of the new Fire Emblem release, it could maybe gather some more interest, so maybe now Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn is gonna be even more up on the price scale. Oh yeah, it kinda did. Like, sometimes I saw it drop down to like 80, $90, but right now I only see like 150, 130, holy shit. But obviously the fucking GameCube one, Fire Emblem GameCube, that one is like $300. Oh, only 295. Well, only. Jesus Christ. Why the fuck would... I mean, if I had money, I would maybe do it. And then after that, I bought Awakening, Fates, Three Houses, and now Engage. And Three Houses is the worst one from them all. Fates and Engage are probably my favorite, and yeah. Last of Us never played. I mean, at this point, I know too much about it that it would ever make me think, yeah. Because the thing is, I didn't got spoiled, but it's like, I watched, not Let's I watched streams of it, and was like, yeah. Star Fox, the first Star Fox game I've had myself, and the first time I played Star Fox though, it was also not called Star Fox, it was called Lilac Wars, was at my friend's Nintendo 64 again, because he had it, and we played it a couple of times, and it was kind of cool flying around. Like, it was also the first bullet shooter kind of game in this way that I played. It was kind of cool that you can do like different routes that you can unlock depending on which planet you choose, what you do on the planet, and that you can drive a panzer or a tank, I guess. And the first Star Fox game I owned myself and played myself was Star Fox Adventures, which was like completely different. And at that time I didn't even knew it was different. I was like, hey, you know, I know this Fox. And then I started, and you play as Crystal instead. It was like, holy shit, this was my awakening. I was like, holy moly. I kind of wish you could have played as Crystal for the whole duration. The thing is, there's a mod for it though that makes you able to play as Crystal only, and you basically try to stay Fox. I played it when I replayed the game a little bit. It works, I guess. You can look at Crystal's nice outfit and everything. And afterwards, I never played another Star Fox. I played it on the Super. I even own it for the Super Nintendo, but I never played it. Like, I bought my Super Nintendo and it came with it one day, and never really played it because it doesn't. It would probably give me a headache. Maybe though. Like, I don't think I would actually get a headache looking at it, but playing it, I don't know. Obviously there's Star Fox 2 then. But yeah, there's all these Star Fox games afterwards were also kind of not that great. I mean, recently I played through Star Fox Assault for the GameCube because of my challenge to beat every GameCube game, and I enjoyed it, I guess. It wasn't bad, but it was also not that great. It could have been really fun in a multiplayer though, which I couldn't really play because, well, I didn't have friends. I mean, I do have friends, but you can't just play GameCube games online easily, or even on the couch. Like, I can't just call people over to play it with me. Here, another game I never played, Mass Effect never played, Bioshock never played. Never had the interest in it. I mean, I have Bioshock 1 remastered, or is it like your whole collection? I think I only have the first one remastered, because a friend gave it to me because of some humble bumble key things he didn't need. Yeah, maybe one day I will play it. Metroid. The thing is, Metroid Prime was my first Metroid, and it made me think this is probably Metroid Prime 1 for me was probably one of the most mind-blowing games of all time, especially since I didn't even know Metroid before it really. Like, this was like in 2003 or 4. Like, it was more like 2003 because I got Metroid Prime 2 fairly close to release at like half price, and that came out in 2004, I think. Or was it 2005? I think it was like end of 2004. And Metroid Prime 1, I didn't know what Metroid was. So I went to the flea market, and on the cover of Metroid Prime 1 in Germany, there's like a sticker thing from a German Nintendo magazine that gave the game 96% out of 100. And this was the only time where it worked on me. You know, like, you always see like these boxes that say like Game of the Year edition, all of these 10 out of 10s, but they never grabbed me after or before that. And I saw Metroid Prime, I looked at the cover, and it has like Samus standing there in her Varia suit, just looking really cool. I at that time didn't even know that was a woman, and I didn't care. Anyways, afterwards it made it even better. I looked at the cover and I saw like these 96%. I was like, the cover looked cool, 96%, and it was like $20. And then, you know, told my parents, hey, can I have this game? And obviously they said yes, because I think Metroid Prime 1 is like for people who are like 12, and I was already old enough. And then I went back home and I played the game, and it was like mind-blowing. Like, looking at Metroid Prime 1 made me think, holy shit, this was like the biggest holy shit moment I think I had as a kid. I don't think I ever got flashed by graphics like that again. Metroid Prime 1 was just like magic. I never beat the game as a kid though. I got pretty far though, like after the Phazon mines, which didn't take that much to beat afterwards, that, you know, but can I quit? And yeah, Metroid Prime 1 made me think, wow, video games can look like this. Like, I was already used to 3D graphics, but for example, I played Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 going to Double Dash, wow, it's a big jump, right? But Mario Kart Double Dash or Sunshine, those are not games that make you think, holy shit, it can't get better than this. But looking at Metroid Prime made me think, yeah, graphics can't get better than this. But they did. And then after Metroid Prime 1, I got Metroid Prime 2, which is a better game. I'm gonna say, it's not even a hot take. Nowadays, more people say this. Like, back in the day, Metroid Prime 2 was like the black sheep of the franchise. Mostly because of the fucking Dark World. People were like, oh, it's too hard, and... well, it's too hard, but it wasn't really that much harder, you know? I think. Maybe I was just a god gamer. And then obviously Metroid Prime 3 was also fine. This was before... no... I'm punching myself for this stupid way. Other M didn't exist yet. Like, before the trilogy came out, before Other M came out, Metroid Prime 2 was considered the black sheep, you know, like Metroid Prime 1 was like Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2 was like Metroid Prime 1 but different, and Metroid Prime 3 went back to more Metroid Prime 1, you know, it didn't have Dark World stuff, it was easier, it felt more like 1 again, and it was always considered the fucking black sheep because of the Dark World, the really hardness of the game. And obviously Other M came out, which then became the new black sheep, but that doesn't mean that, you know, the black sheep doesn't always mean a game is bad. Other M is the black sheep for being kinda trash, but Metroid Prime 2 was the black sheep for being very different, and that's what normally the black sheep is about. It's not about being the trash one, it's about being different, because, well, how many black sheeps do you see? Not that many. How many white sheeps do you see? Many. Yeah, it was the black sheep because it was different. And well, since that, Metroid was dead. Can you not say something like that? Jesus. Is my model just... hello, why is it not moving again? Hello, I need to really get a haircut. I played the first Assassin's Creed game, but no other Assassin's Creed game afterwards. Because, well, I mean, I guess back in the day, Assassin's Creed games were still, like, seen as pretty good. Because, well, I think if you ask many people what is the best Assassin's Creed games, they would say the second one. But for me, it's more like I only played the first one, and that was already enough. Even though the first one is very different from the second one, and then afterwards they changed again and again. But I played the first one on my PC really back in the day, like on like 800 by 600 resolution, because otherwise it wouldn't run. It was okay. Like, I think, you know, it gets like too much flag. Like, most people would say it's a trash game nowadays, but it had its charm. And then obviously 2 is probably a better game, but you know, I kind of enjoyed it. Something about it just felt cool. Jumping from a big fucking tower into a little hay thingy. Maybe one day I would play Assassin's Creed 2, maybe. Probably not, but there's always a way. Or a chance for me to do something. And I don't think I would ever play like something like Ragnarok or Odyssey. No, Ragnarok is World of War. I played Diablo 2. Not for long, but I did play it. It was like, again, we might see trailer for Assassin's Creed 1 and think it was going to be the hottest shit ever. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was mostly also advertised with like Jade Raymond. That's her name, right? Like, they were always like, hey, this is made by a woman. And she wasn't actually the one who was like the leader of the project, but she was like used as the advertisement. She worked on the game, but she wasn't like the head of the game. That's what I remember about the advertisements all the time. They're like, oh, this was made by a woman. Or kind of like the idea, I don't know. At least that's what I always remember. The thing is, you didn't listen again because she wasn't really behind it. It was a man who was behind the game. So now you're acting like, oh, it's trash because it was made by a woman, but it wasn't really made by the woman. So now you're completely misunderstanding everything I just said. Obviously, I played GTA. The first time I played it was 3. And for some reason, I think I had it from a friend. And my parents even saw me play it. And for some reason, my parents didn't have a problem with GTA. Like my parents had like problems with stuff like Call of Duty or other shooter games, but GTA for some reason was like fine. And I didn't even try to only play like the good parts, you know, like I used weapons, I drove people over, but for some reason GTA was like not a game that made my parents think, yeah, you turn that shit off, young man. And obviously GTA San Andreas was like the big moment. Like I didn't own it myself, but I got it from a friend. Like we did a trade. I gave him my Morrowind add-on collection thing. It was like Morrowind with all 3 expansions, and he gave me GTA San Andreas for the PlayStation 2 in return. Like we didn't trade, but it was like lent. Now I give him this, he gives me this. We give it back one day. And the thing is, that never happened because I moved away 20 minutes with the train, basically, or more like 10 minutes. But we kind of forgot about it eventually, I guess. But obviously, the GTA San Andreas was like, it was like the first open world game I really played. Like I can't really think of. I mean, the thing is, how do we even define open world? Like if you think about it, GTA is not open world because you get like parts of the world after you have missions. Like you can get over the other world before, but you have like, you know, the very high wanting level, so you kind of get fucked if you try to do that. So you have to do the missions to get really the other part. Is it really truly open world? That's a question. I guess yes, but you know, well, what is there to say about San Andreas? It's like probably my favorite GTA, and after GTA San Andreas it went to poop. GTA 4 was bad, GTA 5 is bad, GTA 6 probably bad too again. Kinda makes me sad. It makes me think, I don't know, it was a different time, you know. I don't think a game like that would ever work like this again. Or maybe it would. The thing is, you know, nowadays if GTA 6 has a woman as a main character, people would be like, wow, this is crazy. You can't make this. This is too woke. It's like, whoa. San Andreas was like one of the first games really that had like a black male character in the main role that you play as. Like back in the day, you didn't have stupid stuff like this. Like people getting woke or people having an outrage about this stuff like that. Like if GTA San Andreas would come out nowadays, people would be like, wow, you play as a black man in this game? I would not buy this game. Back in the day, nobody fucking cared. People played the game because it was a great game. People didn't really care about like, wow, you know, it was a different time. Like I don't think I ever saw someone back in the day saying, well, I don't want to play this game because I could play as a black man. People didn't make mods where they make JC white, you know, stuff like that. Nowadays if the next GTA only has a black character, they would probably make mods like, oh, let's make him white. It's like, you know, back in the day it was all about the video games themselves. It wasn't about getting mad at video games for, I don't fucking know. I miss those times, I really do. Yeah, Halo. I only played Halo Master Chief Collection. I got it on Steam after they released it, like fixed. It took like 5 years to fix it on the Xbox One, and then they got it onto Steam. And the thing is, I bought it. I played like an hour 50 minutes, and then I refounded it because the thing is, I didn't buy the whole collection. I think I only bought the Halo 2 one. Like it relaunched like 3 years ago or something like that, and they released like all the games separately. And I played it a little bit and was like, yeah, this is not fun. And Halo is ass. The thing is, I never really played it, but I did play it, so. Also, I recently played a couple of Dragon Quest games. I have to say, I only like Dragon Quest 8, kinda. I mean, when I tried playing the other Dragon Quest games, I kind of fell asleep. Like the DS ones are like, like really making me fall asleep. Then, but recently, you know, a couple of months ago, I tried like Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, kinda. And I kind of like the open world of like Dragon Quest 1. But I didn't complete it. But there's not really much else to say. Like Dragon Quest, I always thought, you know, all the games are like very boring. But, you know, there's some good here and there. Okay, with that said though, we have done this. You know, we have done all of these games in this row. Obviously, I have played Deus Ex. I've played the original Deus Ex. And I've played Human Evolution. The thing is, I played like the remastered version of Human Revolution. And the thing is, it's the only game that actually gives me, I think, what's this thing called? When you get sick seeing a video game? I don't know if it's called, I don't know if it's motion sickness, but I tried so many things to make it work for me. Like, when I played Human Revolution, I got headaches when playing it. And I was like, maybe, I Googled, because it always happened. Like, it wasn't just the one thing. I Googled motion sickness Deus Ex Human Revolution, and people were like, hey, it's the VOF, field of view, or vision, field of vision. And that's the only time I changed it in a video game. And I changed it to what people said would be good. And I still got the headaches. And I was like, what if it's the piss filter? And then I turned off the piss filter, and it still happened. I don't know. I couldn't complete the game because I still got fucking headaches. I got like to... There's like this Asian country level with the brothel. That's how far I got before I said, yeah, fuck, I can't play more. I enjoyed it though. It was kind of fun. But I also played the original one, and that is like a game that was ahead of its time. Like, it's actually it's a game that will red pill you. It's a game that makes you think the government is doing shady things, and it is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think, the government is not what it seems like, Hide yourself, be prepared. Yeah, it really makes you think. It's actually a game that makes you think with its dialogue. Like, there's so many games that try to be deep and complex, and with like really stupid dialogue that makes you think, yeah, this is overwritten, but the dialogue in the first Deus Ex actually is like, holy shit, it really makes you think what the people just said. It doesn't make you think these developers are doing this to look smart. It's actually written in a way that makes it respects the player's intelligence. It's like, I'm not gonna dump this down for you. And in comparison to Human Revolution is more like for the average man, Like, I don't wanna make myself sound smarter than I am, but Human Revolution's writing style is like more, that a normie would understand it. I don't want to use the word normie, but you can play it without thinking about what just someone told you. But if you talk to the NPCs and other characters in the first Deus Ex, you think like, you stand there and think, holy shit, I never thought about this the way. It makes you think. It really makes you think, haha. And yeah, I would recommend the first Deus Ex to anyone. Obviously, there's also Deus Ex like the Invisible Wars, but let's not talk about that one. Also, here's my favorite franchise of all time, Drakengard. Oh, I know the song. Drakengard is one of those things that make me think, how can anyone enjoy it? Like, the first, I'm gonna drop the hot take of I finished Drakengard 3. It's only the last fucking ending I didn't get. Drakengard, I have to say, I have to rank them. If I would have to rank them, Drakengard 3 is the best one, then Drakengard 2, and then Drakengard 1. Drakengard 1 has nothing to offer. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The story is bad. The characters are crazy, but still bad. Music is crazily annoying, but kinda in a good way somehow. But what I'm trying to say is that if you ever want to play it, just watch Let's Play. Just watch the cutscenes or something. Just watch the last few cutscenes. There's not much else before that. Except, you have like a party that is like consisting of a woman that likes to eat little boys, a man that's a pedophile, and, fairies that will tell you to kill yourself, the main character being a mute with having no personality, except that he loves the dragon a lot. And then obviously Drakengard 2 is a little bit more nuanced. Like, it has a little bit more of a normal story, but still has some twists here and there. And it actually plays fairly fun too. And then Drakengard 3 is like, it doesn't matter. You can play Drakengard 3 without the other ones because it's a prequel. It doesn't really relate to the other games really that much. It's more like, read it up online. I will twist your nips. No, you won't. Like, Drakengard 3 is more like its own thing, but it still has obviously connections and everything, and Drakengard 3 is fun. It's actually a fun game to play. Even on a PlayStation 3. I played it on a PlayStation 3, and it runs at 15 frames sometimes, but it's still fun. the price that went through. I mean, because it's not an insult. Like the Automod knows I love my nipples getting twisted. And yeah, Dragon Age 3 is actually a great game. It's the best game Yoko Taro ever made, and it will forever be the greatest game he ever made, too. There will never be, you know... You. Thanks for the Sabrino, Carius. Thank you. That was a cute you. I kinda like text-to-speech stuff. I don't know. Makes me feel happy inside. Yeah, but you didn't use it in that way. I think if you write that word with a PON at the end, then it's getting automated. The thing is, Dragon Age 3 is one of the rare games I own twice. I own it digitally on my PlayStation 3, and I own it. I recently bought it on eBay again, but physically. So now I have it twice. And the thing is, my copy of Dragon Age 3 is sealed. This is a sealed copy that I bought for 40 bucks. Isn't that amazing? And one day it will be worth 10 times that. Watch out. I'm investing, you know? You know, I'm investing. Breath of Fire never played. The thing is, I think I did play. The thing is, I'm not quite sure, because one day I rented a JRPG from the video store, and I think it was Breath of Fire, because if I look up Breath of Fire 3 on the PlayStation 1, it starts in a desert, and I remember it too much to not think I haven't played it, but I'm not quite sure, so I will leave it out. Here's the thing that I never played, Warhammer. I hate Warhammer. Looking at Warhammer makes me think, this is ugly. Like, Warhammer has the worst aesthetic together with Warcraft. Like, Warcraft and Warhammer both start with a W, but it should be an L. Like, the armors are ugly, the aliens are ugly, everything about the arts is ugly. It's like total Western ugliness. Like, if Japanese people made Warhammer, there would be like cute things and hot things, but no, ugly as fuck. Okay, let's go over to Banjo-Kazooie. I played the first Banjo-Kazooie. I did even 100%. I 100% Banjo-Kazooie after hating on it for years. And it made me change my opinion. I was always the person that said Banjo-Kazooie is ultimate trash. It's so trash, I never want to play or see it again. But after replaying it, I thought, hey, this is not as bad as I thought it was. I mean, the last level with the fucking tree and getting all 100 notes was a little bit annoying, but still fun. Made me also think, how the fuck does this even work on a Nintendo 64? I think you will find Sisters of Battle hot. No, I won't. And then when I tried Banjo-Tooie though, Banjo-Tooie made me quit after an hour, after the first hour of the game is basically just cutscenes. How do you make a jump and one that doesn't let you play? The biggest thing that you can make, the biggest mistake you can make as a jump and one is to not let the people jump and one. Like, if there's one thing a good jump and one lets the player do is jump and one, right? So, but here, biggest mistake you can know. And then Banjo-Tooie is like, yeah, I quit after an hour of only cutscenes, and then quit after I saw the gameplay, how big the levels are, and it made me think, yeah, Rabi OST. Yeah, Banjo-Tooie should not exist, and Banjo-3 should also not, if it ever exists. I played Monster Hunter. The thing is, the first Monster Hunter I ever played was Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii. It was shortly before they shut down the servers though, so... Sorry, my throat. I'm talking too much. It was still fun though. No, that's not Banjo 3. Nuts and Bolts are completely different. And it was also because I think I read that the producer of the game was like, hey, I hate Banjo-Kazooie, so, and people keep asking for it, so we should make a bad game so people won't buy it, and so it will stay dead forever. And it worked, luckily. The first Monster Hunter game I had was like 3. Never played much online though. Did you know that also people in Japan had to buy? They had to pay for the online. Like Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii had a subscription in Japan. But in the Western versions, they got rid of it because, well, it makes sense, right? Nobody in the West would have really paid for Monster Hunter. And it didn't, I mean, Monster Hunter 3, I'm not quite sure about the sales, but probably wasn't that bad. But it probably would have been bad if they couldn't play online for free. I have to sneeze. But it's not coming. Oh, there it was. And yeah, after that, I bought like Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Generation, danke, on the Switch, and I played like 2 hours and was like, fuck, I should have refounded this, but I can't. Then I played Monster Hunter World, only for a little bit too, but I bought it from a key site for like $5, so not a big loss. And then I bought Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch and enjoyed it. Then I bought it again on the PC with Sunbreak together. And I haven't even gotten to Sunbreak. So, you know, if I ever feel like in the need to grind the game again, I should do that. Maybe. I also played Bomberman. The thing is, the first Bomberman I played was a Super Nintendo one. Played on the Super Nintendo with my dad and my sister together sometimes. But the first one I really owned was like Bomberman Generations for the GameCube, which was like an open level 3D Bomberman. Also had a multiplayer with the classical Bomberman, but wasn't exactly. The thing is, one time I got stuck in a level and I quit forever. I got filled by a Bomberman game. I still have it, and for some reason it's kind of worth $50. I don't want to sell it, but my case is like kind of broken, so it won't be worth that much. But you know, I got eternally filled by that game, and obviously maybe one day I should return. I should return and own it this time. But it wasn't a bad game though. It was like Bomberman 3D though. I mean, obviously Bomberman already had 3D games before Bomberman Hero and stuff, but I never played them before. Which I recently played though on emulator. Bomberman Hero for the Nintendo 64. There was another one I played at a friend's house on the PlayStation 1. Why is the music like, the thing is, why upload like a OST and have it a whole minute of silence afterwards? Why not cut that out? Nintendo 64. I love Nintendo 64. The thing is, I need to go to the toilet. Could be a longer time though. Like, I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes. Maybe before. The thing is, I also have to wash my nose. Jesus. No, all I can say is that sometimes I'm very surprised at the things that can come out of a human's nose. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, so I always wash my hands. Like damn, like there's big things inside of your hacking nose sometimes. Where have we been? Here, right? Like here we have a bunch of 2 games I haven't played. I have never played Shenmue. I kind of want to play the first 2. The thing is, should I really start playing them, because there will never be an end. Like Shenmue will not be finished. The anime will never get another season. The games will never. I mean, maybe there's going to be ever. I mean, maybe, you know, maybe he will. Why is he not writing books? He should write Shenmue books to finish the story. Never played Watch Dogs either. But I've played the first Dishonored game, and it's actually pretty good. Now, it's because it's made by the same people who made that Axe Pathless, which I've recently played on stream. It's like a year ago, and it actually was a great game, which I never played before, but it actually surprised me. It was pretty nice. Did I play anything? What else did they make again? Like they made the new Prey game, which also is supposedly pretty good, which I haven't played though, so can't say much about that. But I enjoyed the first Dishonored game. Also, I played the first Wild Arms on PlayStation 1. It's like a RPG, but Western. It's like, I didn't beat it again. I got into it like a few hours, and it's like, you know, I always see the Wild Arms 5 seen as, no, wait, is it 5? No, that's like Suikoden 5. I always see it like recommended as some kind of underrated PlayStation RPG series, and you know, they're making also a spiritual successor. Like they announced that together with like the Shadow Heart spiritual successor. You know, the Wild Arms 1 looks kind of bad, and the other one also doesn't look that great. I mean, I don't trust Kickstarters to begin with, but you know, let's hope people won't get scammed at least. So they will get the game, even if the game turns out to be not that great. At least they get a game, right? Then it's not a scam. It's just not a great game. But yeah, I can't say too much about Wild Arms 2, 3, or the others. But also here, Counter-Strike, my beloved. The thing about Counter-Strike is that I wasn't normally. This channel stinks. I stink because I just went to the toilet, so sorry. Counter-Strike was my teenagehood game. It made me think, holy shit, this is the most fun I would ever have with a multiplayer game. And it kind of was. Counter-Strike 1.6 and even Source were games that made me think, holy shit, it can't get better than this. The thing is, 1.6 was more for like playing normally, and Source was like for fun maps. Like Source had like jail maps, death run maps, fun maps. And even one of my real life friends even made like videos about the servers we played on, and he even still has videos on it online. And you know, they're kind of cringe, but yeah, Counter-Strike, I mean, we also all bought Global Offensive together to play it at release, and Global Offensive back in the day was pretty shit. It was like by a different studio. Then after it flopped, Valve had to take over, and it still kind of flopped, but then they brought in skins, and suddenly everyone loved it. And sadly, you know, in the process of Global Offensive wanting people to jump over to it, the thing is, they tried it before, right? Like Counter-Strike Source was made to be the next Counter-Strike, and the thing is, people didn't jump off 1.6. 1.6 was still the ultimate Counter-Strike experience, because Source was a little bit more floaty, the hitboxes weren't that great, and most people stayed with 1.6. Like Source was more like surfing, other stupid stuff, but it never had the competitive scene of like 1.6. And then Global Offensive, Valve was like, people are still not playing our new Sonic game. So, why Sonic? I said Sonic because I just saw the Sonic OST here. Did I skipped? They are still not playing the new Counter-Strike game. So the thing is, they patched 1.6 and destroyed the movement. Like they literally made a patch that makes the game worse on purpose, so people finally move on. And I will never forgive Gaben for that. I will never forgive him. Then obviously they had to move on because they made 1.6 way worse. And yeah, but Counter-Strike 1.6, the thing is, Steam didn't track gaming time before like 2009 or 10. And if they did track the time, I would have so many hours in there, it would be insane. The thing is also, obviously I wasn't allowed to actually play the game. And I never got caught having it though, and same with Team Fortress 2. I played that on a free weekend once. Didn't have fun. What did I want to say? The thing is, I got my Counter-Strike account because my sister knew someone who was phishing accounts, you know, like he phished accounts, where basically people type in their things on a fake site and he gets the data from there. And he gave me like 20 Steam accounts back in the day that I gave to my friends. Like most of us, I mean, I gave some of them to other friends and they got back banned because they were like, hey, I have 2 accounts, so now I will get banned because I have 2 accounts. Then the entirety of my teen years playing Team Fortress 2 basically. Why not play Team Fortress 1? And I got like many accounts, I gave them to friends all the time. And that's why my Steam username is something very cringe. Like I didn't make, I mean, I'm called Vanza, right? But the login name is like very cringe. Because I got like a Steam account that got phished for me with Counter-Strike on there. Because obviously I wasn't allowed to have it. And back in the day, pay-safe cards and stuff like that, I didn't even know those existed yet. So I couldn't have just bought one of those and buy the game then. I couldn't go into the store. The thing is, one time, my friend, this was after, you know, one of my friends got like banned again. And I didn't have any more accounts to give him. But it was really close to me turning 16. And then I turned 16 and, you know, we went to the city together. You know, I felt like the biggest, baddest motherfucker around because I walked into the store to buy a game that is for people who are at least 16. And I grabbed the Counter-Strike Source and Counter-Strike Anthology CD case. I'm like, I can buy this now. And then I buy it for him. And that was the only time I ever bought a game that made me think, yeah, I'm an adult now. You know, because after that, I mostly just ordered my stuff online. But, you know, that was a great feeling. To be finally of age to buy games that I shouldn't have gotten yet. Never played Gears of War. Dragon Age, neither. But I played Hitman. I played Hitman Blood Money. And that's the third one, right? And I played a little bit of the second one. Also, for some reason, I own like Absolution on Steam, which is like probably the Hitman game that really made everyone mad. Like Hitman Absolution is more like a shooter game than a stealth game, and it made people go like, yeah, this series is dead. But then they return with Hitman, you know, they return with like the new one, like the new Hitman, like the reboot, and now everyone loves them again. But yeah, I own Absolution and I haven't played it a single minute. I got it together with the new Thief game too. Like Thief, but it has like the 4 instead of the E, and it's like also very shit. I have no idea what Square Enix was thinking. I think it was Square who owns it, right? Also, Silent Hill. Here's a funny story. My friend, the same friend with a Nintendo 64, had a cracked PlayStation 1. And on the cracked PlayStation 1, he had like literally a whole box full of games. Like obviously not real games. Or like fake games. Like obviously, you know, homebrewed and everything. And you know, sometimes we would just go through different discs because they didn't really had stuff on there. Maybe they did, but we didn't know what the fuck Silent Hill is. So we picked like random CDs to play a little bit, and then he put in the CD of like Silent Hill. And at the start of the first Silent Hill, why do you have to die to continue? And my friend was like, oh, I died. And then he pressed the reset button on the PlayStation instead of, letting the cutscene play out or whatever. Because we weren't smart. So we pressed the reset button to try it again. And we couldn't find a way out. And then he died again. He was like, oh, this game sucks. So he turned it off and then we played something else. And it saved me. I think it saved me from having the worst nightmares of all time. If I would have played Silent Hill as a fucking 8-9-year-old, I already peed my pants by fucking Rugrats video games. The Rugrats video game where the gorilla follows you or there's like ghosts. I would have literally pooped my pants. I would have went back to wearing diapers if I would have played a little bit of the first Silent Hill game. So luckily, my friend was stupid. Devil May Cry, I have only played Devil May Cry 1, a little bit of it, and it wasn't fun. I have to say it. I know Devil May Cry 1 very different from Devil May Cry 2, which again very different from Devil May Cry 3. And I should just play Devil May Cry 3 or 4 or 5, which I will do one day. I have it on my list of games to play, but the first Devil May Cry 1, obviously it's more like Resident Evil. It's like, you can feel that it was supposed to be Resident Evil once before a time. I mean, one day I will play the third one. I also wanted always to play the second one as like a meme, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should not waste my time with bad games. Now you can't throw me. Oh, and there was this reboot, right? Like the one with Dante going like, fuck you, fick dich. And people still try to say that it's actually a good game, but I don't know. Also, Spyro the Dragon, again, one of my biggest disappointments in life was, again, same friend with the PlayStation and Nintendo 64. He had Spyro 1, 2, and 3, and we loved to play those. And I didn't have a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation, but I never had the games, and my PlayStation 1 broke after 2 weeks, and then I got another one, and I never really got many games for it because I had Harvest Moon. But the thing is, one day, I went to the city with my dad, and he told me, hey, kiddo, you can pick a game. What game do you want? And I saw Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for the GameCube. And I was like, holy shit, it's the worst thing, it's also the ugly Platinum Edition, right? It's like ugly and a shit game. And I was like, hey, I always loved Spyro at my friend's home. So this is Spyro on the GameCube. This has to be amazing too. So I got that, I went home, and even as a kid I knew how much shittier this game was. The frame rate is shit, the levels are shit, everything about this game is shit. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Spyro at that point. After that, Spyro for me was dead. I should get the reimagination thing. Or what is it called, like the remakes, like they're pretty good remakes, right? They even made like the female monster, not monsters. It turns you into furry nowadays. Obviously, Dark Souls. Dark Souls is one of those series. Can I say this? It's giving Billy the Bass headshot sound. Like I accidentally clicked it. Let's listen to Danganronpa instead. I played Dark Souls before Dark Souls was big. Well, what can I say about Dark Souls? Except that Dark Souls 2 is the best one. And I like Demon's Souls more too. The thing about Dark Souls is that I hate the second half of the game. Like anything after Arno Londo, but even Arno Londo itself is not that great. Like I think Dark Souls, the more you realize how constrictive it can be, the less fun I had with it. Like the first time I played through it, I was like amazed till the second half kind of opens. Like the Tomb of the Giants is like stupid darkness gimmick. Then you have Lost Etherlit. Then you have the new Londo ruins. You have the Crystal Cave that isn't really a level. Like anything in the second half of the game is like so much worse. The first half is like really great. And I still see people trying to defend the second half all the time. It's like, bro, you don't have to. Like, I don't understand why people try to defend the second half of the game. Like, you can still love the game, but it's literally objectively not that great. The thing is, I defend Dark Souls 2, but Dark Souls 2 has more variety. What I like about Demon's Souls and Dark Souls 2 is they don't really care about this connectivity. Like, obviously Dark Souls 2 is still connected, but it doesn't care how. Like, they see, we want to make a volcano level. Oh, let's put this here, even if it doesn't make too much sense. I like that. In Dark Souls 1, you have like everything perfectly connected, right? And I still get why people love it, but it doesn't make the second one worse because of it, I think. Like, it doesn't have to have the interconnectivity to still be really great, in my opinion. And obviously, you know, it's, for me, the variety counts. Then Dark Souls 3 was like, yeah, here's your best of edition, and it's like, meh. At that point, I was already a little bit struggling to still be like super invested in the games. It just makes me think, yeah, we already had this, we had that. And then Elden Ring came out, and it was like, yeah. Now you have everything that you love about Souls games, like the legacy dungeons, but also in the generic open world. And it's like, bro, why? Why do I have to wait 20 minutes to the next dungeon if I could just not do that? No, the open world of Elden Ring adds nothing. I have to say it, it literally added nothing of value. It added only a little bit of busy work, nothing else. And obviously, you know, if you want to hear more about my opinion about Elden Ring, check out my 1 hour video about Elden Ring, where I say that bigger isn't always better. So what do we have next? I think that was all the games on the right side here that I've played or haven't played. We're getting close. I mean, we're like halfway through, because the long games I can talk about longly are still there. I'm on the side screen. Call of Duty I've played. My favorite is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the fourth one, but I also own the second one. I think it was, I don't really own it, but I have the big box of it. I think it was my sister's boyfriend's game, but he left it here once and then he never returned to get it. I played a little bit of it online, was okay, but Call of Duty 4 was like, yeah, it was really fun. I never really played anything afterwards anymore though. I don't know, nothing that ever really interested me. I only played Tales of Symphonia and I liked it, but that happened when I was younger. Like, nowadays I would think Tales of Symphonia is just as generic and bland as the other Tales of games. Like, there's nothing that screams more generic than Tales of to me. Like, it's like the generic JRPG series for me. It just makes me think, yeah, everything generic about it. Art style, story, music. Well, obviously as a kid I was like, yeah, Tales of Symphonia, woohoo! One of the really rare JRPGs I actually liked. Obviously I played Tetris. Everyone has played Tetris. The thing is, as a kid I was like, wow, Tetris is so fucking boring. But nowadays I'm like, Tetris is actually fun. Like, as a kid, I wanted to have adventures. Like, games like Link's Awakening that I got from my Game Boy showed me, hey, games have stories, games have worlds to explore, games can have this, games can have that. And I was never the kind of person that is just after the biggest high school. Like, high school games I never really liked as a kid. Like, I can see the appeal of them even when I was younger, but I was like, I want to have an objective. I don't just want to collect points. So, yeah, Tetris. Really fun. Tetris 99, for example, you can play it for free. Obviously it's not as Tetris as the other ones, but... And nowadays, you know, I do enjoy Tetris. The thing is, back in art class, I had an MP4 player that we were allowed to listen to music during art class. But my MP4 player also had like Tetris on there, so I could play Tetris, which kind of fucked my buttons, because pressing buttons too often made my buttons not work sometimes. So yeah. I played Street Fighter or Persona OST, no. Oh, Mario Galaxy. I played Street Fighter 2. Well, and that's it. I never played any other Street Fighter. I played it because I wanted to know what is the fuss about. Why do people say Street Fighter 2 is the best fighting game ever invented? And the thing is, I never played against a normal person, so I always had to play against CPU, and I was like, yeah, it's a fighting game. Can't really say more about that. here we go with Ratchet and Clank. I miss Ratchet and Clank, like you wouldn't believe. Like, Ratchet and Clank is not Ratchet and Clank anymore. The newest Ratchet and all the PlayStation 3 games and the new PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 games are like, what did they do to you? They should have killed him. They should have killed Ratchet and Clank. They should have just killed the series before it turned into what it is now, in my opinion. Like, all those dirty jokes, all the feistiness of the first few games is gone. The cool weapons are gone. They made like a family-friendly game with like some edge to it into a family-friendly Mario kind of game, where it's like, nope, nothing is allowed that isn't totally family-friendly. It makes me sad. You know, like Ratchet in the first game was still he was an asshole, let's say it how it is. He was an asshole to Clank and everyone kinda. But with the second game it was not like really asshole-ish anymore, but more like, you know, he had a little bit more of a banterness, you know? Where the first game he felt kinda evil to other people sometimes. And it makes me think, why? Why did they allow it to go on so long? To truly scrub it clean from all the edginess. Now obviously, even from the game perspective, they were like kind of running out of ideas. And you can kind of feel it, and it's like, Did they fire a woman for constantly judging Lombeck's boobs for making the recent Ratchet and Clank game? I don't fucking know. And it just makes me think, Ratchet and Clank should not be alive anymore. It should have, the thing is, why is, okay, Jak and Daxter is here too. It should have went the way of Jak and Daxter, just never make another game. Also, I played Chrono Trigger. I never really played Chrono Cross, but I played Chrono Trigger, and now the hot take of hottest takes has arrived. I think Chrono Trigger is really generic. Obviously, no, I haven't played it in 1995 when it came out in 1996, but I have played it. And I was like, what is the fuss about? Like, maybe back in the day it was like revolutionary, but the characters are boring. The story is like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. The only thing that's really amazing about the game is the soundtrack. And I like the sprites and everything. And also the combat system is also kind of generic. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a turn-based game. But for everything except how it would kick your ass, I know, but he knows that I don't like the game that much. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I'm not saying it's shit. It just, it feels like it's the JRPG. It's like the most generic JRPG I can think of. Like, nothing about it makes me feel, wow, this is special. But maybe it was different back in the day when it came just out, right? Like, obviously it revolutionized probably some things. But for someone that played it like the first time, like 10 years ago, it was like, yeah, kind of boring. Say that to every JRPG now? No. I mean, it's not my fault that Chrono Trigger and Tales of games are very generic for me. Like, I haven't said it to Shin Megami Tensei, I haven't said that generic. I have not even said it to Fantasy Online either, and not to Wild Arms either, because those games kind of have like something that makes them a little bit more unique. My Chrono Trigger just has nothing that stands out to me except the music. And it's not even Mitsuda's best soundtrack, because that would be Mario Party 1. No, it would be Xenoblade 2. Here's another one. Never played God of War. Never played the old ones. I kind of have interest in playing the old God of War games, but I have absolutely zero interest to ever play the reboot. Also played Metal Gear. I played Metal Gear 1, 2, 3, 5... Ah! My finger! I broke my finger! Aua! These bad takes to one of the sickest songs in the franchise. Ape Escape. How is this a bad take? Like, are you also a Chrono Trigger fan? Get real. I would say Metal Gear Solid 3 would be my favorite one. Never played it. See, how can you call my take bad then if you never played it? Metal Gear Solid 3, my favorite one. Story-wise and stuff, but my favorite Metal Gear to play is actually 5. Like, I don't... How is Chrono Trigger unique? What is unique about it? Like, the first Metal Gear that really played well for me was 5. Like, Metal Gear never really played truly funnily to me. The combat system, is it because it loses like the all-time thing where it like charges the bar in real time, because if it was the first game who ever used that, then it can suck a dick, because I hate that even more than normal turn-based. So yeah, Metal Gear. Here we have the Tales of games, which is Secret of Mana, Secret of Mana 2, and Secret of Mana 3. I love Secret of Mana 1. The sad thing is, I never played it with friends together. Sadly. But I also like Trials of Mana. You know, the remake. I never played the original, but I one day want to buy like the collection to play the actual 3 one, the third one. And not the remake only. Pikmin. I've played... I'm too dumb for Pikmin. I have to openly say it. I'm too dumb for Pikmin. I can see why people love these games, but every time I've tried playing them, I would say I got filtered. Like, it just made me think, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of strategy games to begin with, and this one is not really that deep, to be honest. But I didn't feel the fun that other people felt with the game, you know? Please don't kill me, Plebby. I know that you love Pikmin, and you want to murder me now, but I'm not saying it's that bad, it's just not for me. Also, here's a list of Final Fantasy games I played. I played 1, 5, 6, 9, 14. There we go. I played all of those. And 9 and 6 are my favorite ones. I will forgive you if you buy Pikmin 4. Nope, I won't. I know it won't be for me, so I'm not gonna waste 60 bucks. And yeah, Final Fantasy, what can I say? Generic JRPGs, hee hee ha 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 ha. Sorry. Nier. I played the original Nier. I bought the original Nier in like 2017 or something. It was more like 2016. I don't know. I ordered it from Amazon for like 10 bucks for the PlayStation 3. Because all the people I've talked to on Twitter are like, wow, Nier, wow, I love Nier. It's so great. I'm like, let's find out what the fuss is about. I got like the first ending and I quit. Obviously now you're gonna say, well, what about the other endings? You have to at least play through B again. The second I realized I have to play through the game again, kind of obviously with different things, I was like, I'm out of here. I didn't have the mental fortitude to even play a single second more of the first Nier after that. It didn't play that well, the story didn't get me. The only character I really liked was like Vice, you know, the book that talks to you. And all the other characters were like, I don't care about any of these. I don't care about saving the little girl. I didn't care about anything really. But I can recognize that the soundtrack was great, and in comparison to Nier Automata, it does one thing really great. In Nier Automata, the gameplay is the same thing all the time. It's mostly battle. Obviously, then with 9S you hack and stuff. In Nier Automata, I got all the normal endings, like not the joke ones, but you know, A, B, C, D, E. And it was like, yeah, it was a little bit under an okay game for me. The one thing that it really made that made it worse was, again, you only battle really. You don't have puzzles and stuff like that. You don't have the variety that the first Nier gives you. In the first Nier, you have like this mansion that is like Resident Evil reference. You have the Sand Temple where you have to do puzzles. Like every part of the game kind of feels a little bit more different than the other part of the game. Obviously, the combat system stays the same, but in the Automata, you don't have those things. In the Automata, you just battle everywhere. You don't do puzzles. And that's the difference for me that made me think, yeah, even though the gameplay itself is better, it's worse in the variety section. And that's why I think the first Nier stays more in your head, at least in my head, than Automata. But the thing is, I rebought Automata. I own the PC version, and for some reason I found the Switch version for fairly cheap, and I bought it, and I want to play it soon, so yeah, I'm gonna replay it soon, maybe tomorrow even. I played StarCraft, the second one only, because I had a friend who had like 2 accounts, and he was like someone who never learned. The thing is, we started playing League of Legends together at the same time, and I got like 2 diamond and shit, and he was still in silver and bronze, and he was a person that believed in Elu hell. Like, everyone else sucks, except me, and they're keeping him down. And the funny thing is, he bought in StarCraft to become like a pro in StarCraft, and the thing is, he could get out of silver there too, even though it's a 1 versus 1 game, right? He just sucked at video games kinda. And the thing is, I told him I could do it better than you without even knowing anything about StarCraft, because again, I'm not into strategy games. And the thing is, he had 2 accounts, and you know, there's like always seasons and stuff, and he grinded 1 season and he got to silver, and you know, I was making fun of him like in a jokingly way, and he was like, okay, if you're so good at the game, then take my other account and play this season with it, and get a better rank than I. And the thing is, you get a rank after 5 games, and the only thing I've done is Google Circ Rush. How is Circ Rush works? Like, I knew a little bit about StarCraft and Circ Rush, and that's what I was searched, and I googled it how to do it. I did it in all of my games, and I won like 2 games or 3 games and lost the other ones. And I got 2 gold with only 5 games without any other freaking knowledge. And you know, he was kind of seething. He was kind of like, no, I think he played Protoss. Like, he was like, yeah. His StarCraft career didn't last long, by the way. I played Guilty Gear. I played Guilty Gear back on PC once. It was like I don't know which one, but I also played. I have one on Steam. Which one do I own on Steam? Wait. I own Guilty Gear Third Side. I have last played it on December 22, 2015. I have a 3.6 hour playtime and 5 achievements. So, needless to say, I played Guilty Gear, but, well, also I played Jack and Dexter. I never played the first one, but I played the second one when I rented it off from the video store. And it was like, well, fun game, but really fucking hard. Like, Jack and Dexter 2 is really hard. I never played the third one then, never played the kart racing one, never played Dexter's only game. I have it on my list of games to play for the PSP. Never played Saints Row, but I played Punishment for the NES. And this is actually a game I only recently played. Like, a couple of months ago. I got like to... I got to King Hippo, I think. And the thing is, I have to play the Wii one. Or maybe the Super Nintendo one. But I guess I would rather play the Wii one. It's on my list of games to play soon, so... The thing is, I played Team Fortress 2 a couple of times. I played this back in the day when they first launched it, when it was like a free weekend, and it didn't run too well on my PC, so that gave me a bad taste in my mouth. But aside from that, when it became free to play, I tried it out again with friends, and we played like a couple of hours, and it was like, not much to say about it though. I played Contra. I mean, in Germany it's called Probotector. I played Probotector on the Super Nintendo, and I owned it on the Wii Virtual Console too. Never played another Contra except that one, but it's really fun. But I'm not quite sure if I've ever beaten it though. I haven't. It's really freaking hard. I also tried playing it together with a friend, but we got not that far because he sucked at video games, and it kind of makes it even harder. I think there's a cheat for 99 lives you can use, but for some reason I never did that. I kind of wanted to beat it without cheats, but... Fable. I played the first Fable for a couple of hours on the PC. I kind of want to do it again. Most likely I won't. Because the thing is, you know, I hate it when I start a game and I play for the first few hours of the game and then I drop it, and when I want to return I should replay from the start, but then I have to do all the starting stuff again. And like, but I probably should or could. Animal Crossing. You know, this was my go-to sometimes when I rented something out of the video store. For the GameCube. You know, it's like the stupidest game to ever rent from a video store, but as a kid I did it a couple of times because, well, it was kind of fun. You know, like the villagers getting mad at me for not seeing them in a while. And the worst thing about it was that it also uses a lot of blocks on the memory card. That's why it came with its own memory card normally. So I would have to. I literally only had 2 memory cards, and one of them would only be the Animal Crossing one that I can't really use for anything else. Till I finally said, yeah, good night, my little boys and girls. I will have to delete you. And then I haven't played Animal Crossing till New Leaf again. I never played on the DS. I had it on the Wii, but I got it for free from like my grandma's husband because he sometimes goes like dumpster diving, and he once gave me like 10 Wii games that he found in the dumpster. So never played it really. New Leaf, really fun game. The only thing that sucks about New Leaf is like villagers just moving out when they want to. Like if New Leaf, New Leaf for me is the ultimate Animal Crossing experience. Like obviously it doesn't have the edginess of the first game kinda, and Wild World still had some edginess to it too, but New Leaf was like the first one that kind of went more family friendly, you know, nobody gets too mad. But I sucked having a good villager that you loved and then them just moving out. I think there's mods nowadays on an emulator that you can use to not have that happen, but I'm not quite sure. And it's the ultimate Animal Crossing experience for me. Like New Horizons is like too normalized. Like it has too many normal things. The thing is about it is just the uniqueness is missing. Maybe it's all. It's not just because I already played so many Animal Crossing games, but it's like it appeals too much to. The thing is, obviously, Wild World and New Leaf also sold millions of copies, but you know, it got a little bit too commercialized, if that's the word to use. I played the first Dead Space. I should play Dead Space 2 one day. I kind of enjoyed the first few hours of Dead Space, but the longer you play Dead Space, the more it became kind of boring. Like, you know what will happen, how to kill the enemies, how they will appear and stuff. But it's kind of hard to. The thing is, it starts to overstay its welcome after like 5 hours for me. And the thing is, it's like an 8-hour game. So the last 3 hours of it was like, yeah, and they keep reusing the one big dude that you can't kill really, and it really loses its steam towards the end. I played The Sims. The first Sims I played was on the GameCube. The first The Sims GameCube game. I never really played on PC. I've had a friend who had the second game on PC, and we sometimes watch him play it a little bit, you know, fucking one in it. But I like the GameCube version because it had like a little bit of mission mode and story, a little bit. It was kind of fun. Again, the same problem as with Animal Crossing, it loses a lot of blocks. But yeah, The Sims made me think, I enjoy the Sims. The thing is, I don't enjoy where it went after the second game. The Sims 2 on PC already has like lots of expansion packs. But then Sims 3 came out and it had even more. The thing is, obviously it's an EA game, so I would not feel bad about pirating it, but even then it would be too much effort to track down all the stuff I want. And with Sims 4, it's like it went out of control. Like putting basic needs behind paid DLC and stuff like that. Never played Borderlands, but I played Tekken. But I only played Tekken 3, and we mostly played like the beach volleyball minigame, so not really much to do there. Donkey Kong I've played, which is also funny because I haven't really played Donkey Kong till last year, where I first ever played my first Donkey Kong game, which was Donkey Kong Country 1. A few weeks after that I also tried playing 2, but 2 was worse. It has too many gimmicks. Like Donkey Kong Country 1 was like great because it didn't have the gimmick stages, but then Donkey Kong Country 2 was like, yeah, every stage has to be a gimmick stage, woohoo. It made me think, nah, I quit. And then I also played Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, which is great if the Waggles wouldn't be there, but you know, maybe I should have played the 3DS version, but in the 3DS version it's like half FPS. Bing bing wahoo! Crash Bandicoot, my hero back in the day. Not really my hero, but I have to say it, I played all the Crash Bandicoot games as a kid. And as a kid, 3 was my favorite, Warped, and it will forever be my favorite. Like, the thing is, people overestimate how many gimmick stages it has. Like, it doesn't have that many gimmick stages. Like, it has like 2 flying stages, 2 Coco stages with the tiger. Sometimes the swimming level has like this shoot thing under the water, but it has the most variety, it has the most fun stages. Warped is like the perfect Crash Bandicoot for me. Yeah. I played the first Kingdom Hearts. Oh, time for my funny story that I always tell when I talk about Kingdom Hearts. I played the first Kingdom Hearts till like, what is the woman called? The woman that turns into a dragon, Miss. Like she's from Dornröschen. Like she has like these horns. She's like dressed in black. I forgot her name. Mystify or something like that. I played the first game till there, but then one day, me and my friend went to the video store to rent video games, and we picked 2 video games to rent: Kingdom Hearts 2 and Lego Star Wars for the PlayStation 2. And when we were, checking out at the games, at the checkout, they had a popcorn machine in the video store, and I was like, wow, maybe we should buy some popcorn to enjoy while we play video games. And he was like, no, that's not in our budget. And the checkout, the woman working there was like, wow, that's a big word for a little boy. And I don't know why I still remember that. It's not a funny story, but it's just as unfunny as Kingdom Hearts 2, because we played the wowzers part. We got into like the big mansion after like 2 hours, and we were like, yeah, let's just play Lego Star Wars, please. Her name is Maleficent. Why are you such a Disney nerd? Jesus. I played only one Doom game, and that's the first Doom game. Like the very first. And I only played it a couple of months ago. But Doom 2016 and Eternal on my list to play. I know, from Kingdom Hearts to TBH. I will TBH you. I played Fallout 3 and New Vegas. The first time I played Fallout 3 was on my PC in like 800 by 600 resolution again, on my old stupid PC. And then one day my friend lent me his PlayStation 3 version, and it crashed my PlayStation 3, and then I never tried playing it again. Great games. Okay, Elder Scrolls. Like I said before, I had Morrowind for PC. Damn, what a banger. I mean, I can talk about this song is on. Daytona USA 2001 OST Sky High Mirror theme. I said you have to skip it, like lyrics when I try to talk. And now we have Sega Bass Fishing Duel Music Track 4 main menu. Yeah, I had Morrowind as a kid. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed fucking 1 in it. I didn't care about the story, because who the fuck cares about reading stuff when you're like 10 years old? Also, fuck the combat of Morrowind. Never played Oblivion till a few years, like 2 years ago I played on stream. And then I also, obviously I played, who hasn't played Skyrim? But I was one of those people who said Skyrim sucks. I'm not completely wrong with it, but it's not that bad. But okay, I played Warcraft 3 because back in the day I watched Giga Games. Giga Games was a German TV show that came up at 10 p.m. till like 12 a.m. So I couldn't watch it during the week. I could only watch it on the weekends. And in Giga Games, they sometimes showed like it was like a TV show about video games instead of a little studio where they have a bunch of tables, and this table is like for console games, the other table is like for modding PC stuff, the other one is hardware PC stuff, other one is esports, modding and stuff. And every 10 minutes they would switch around, with different hosts and everything, and they would show off a lot of mods, mostly for 2 games, for Unreal Tournament 2004 and Warcraft 3. And that's the only reason why I wanted to have Warcraft 3, because I watched that show, and it would sometimes show like very fun mods, like the game mode where you play as a sheep and you get hunted by a wolf, stuff like that. I was like, I want Warcraft 3. And then I went to the store to buy Warcraft 3 for like $10 with like the Frozen Throne with it. And I never played the original game because I only played like all these modded things, which was fun. Like Tower Defense 2. Never played Dota though, back in the day. And I tried World of Warcraft when it went to a trial. The first trial that ever got released where you can play like to level 20. Played it for an hour, I was like, this sucks. Obviously, I've played Pokemon. Now, Pokemon, what can I even say? Pokemon. The thing is, I haven't played that much Pokemon. I played the first generation, obviously, and the second one. But after that, I haven't played Pokemon after Generation 2 till Generation 6. But the thing is, Pokemon was just... It came out of nowhere, and suddenly everyone had it. You had Pokemon cards out of nowhere. You had the Pokemon games out of nowhere. You would watch it after coming home from elementary school. You had Pokemon plushies, Pokemon board games, Pokemon bed sheets. Like, Pokemon suddenly was everywhere, and it stayed for a while. You wanted to watch it in the cinema. And I never watched the Pokemon movies in the cinema. But for some reason I had like the Mew card. I think a friend gave it to me. And Pokemon... I mean, do I really have to say anything about it? Like, I don't want to be the one person who says Generation 1 and 2 are the best. But it's what I grew up with. Like, not saying that they're the best for me. Like, mostly Generation 2. Like, Generation 1, when I replayed it, it's kind of like, I see what people would say, But Generation 2 is, for me, is like, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I only played the first 2 gens. Till Generation 6 again. And then I played them all again afterwards. And then, you know, it was like, how is it a boomer take? How is it I'm not saying the other ones are bad. The one thing I have to say about the DS ones though, Generation 4 and 5 had the worst Pokemon designs of all time. Like, the Pokemon designs in 4 and 5, trash. Absolute trash. But yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, Black and White, it's like Diamond and Pearl, or Platinum and Black and White 2. Like, all the DS games have like the worst designs of Pokemon for me of all time. And then luckily with Generation 6, 7 and 8 and 9 now, banger after banger after banger. Like, obviously the quality of the games, you know, is debatable, but the designs, great. And now we come to my absolute favorite video game franchise of all time, The Legend of Zelda. The first Zelda game I ever had and ever played was Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. You know, I never had A Link to the Past. And I think my friend got Ocarina of Time after I first played Link's Awakening. So Link's Awakening showed me that video games are more than just video games, you know? Like, this sounds like it's such a stupid ass story, but when I was a kid, obviously, I played Mario, right? Mario is like going from left to right. You save the princess, not a story, right? But Link's Awakening made me think video games have stories. Video games have adventure feelings. Like, I never played a video game before Link's Awakening. It made me go on a true adventure. Like Kirby, I played Mario. They feel like adventures, but not like the adventure that gives you Link's Awakening feeling of adventure. The thing is, I saw my Pokemon, so even if I would want to transform Pokemon from back then to now, I couldn't. I mean, I still have my 3DS ones. I could transfer those, but I think they're getting shut down soon. But anyways, Link's Awakening showed me that video games are what I really truly love. Like, having this adventure, like this feeling of adventure, and then when I visit my friend, and he had a Nintendo 64, and he would have Ocarina of Time, you know, and we started the game together, kinda. Like, we, every day after elementary school, we went back to his place to do homework a little bit, and we would game Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, but mostly Ocarina of Time. And it was like, holy shit, Ocarina of Time. Holy moly macaroni cheese. Holy shit. It was like, holy. I can't even describe it. It was like the holy grail of video games. It was like, holy shit. Like, I was always so... Why is that... Oh, wait, that's on the paint thing. You're doing the PlayStation commercial. What? What PlayStation commercial? There was like a point on my monitor that I wanted to wash off, but it's actually in the Word document here. Well, what is the PlayStation commercial? Do they also say holy shit 15 times? And, you know, I was like very flat. I was just like, holy shit. And the first Zelda I actually owned myself was Wind Waker, which was on the GameCube, obviously. I have to say I loved it, but it didn't really quite hit Ocarina of Time for me. And then, you know, this was the moment where I know my time has come, you know? The Game Pro, I had it in the subscription, right? It came with a DVD, and it was E3 time, 2004. The E3 the E3 issue came out. You know, they always had like 50 pages of E3 new announcements, trailers on a DVD. And they went there in person to have like a show around the booth and stuff, everything. And they showed Zelda, Twilight Princess. I rewatched it. I whipped out the DVD, put it into the DVD player. You know, back in the day when we had DVD players, I clicked through the menu to get to the trailer part, and clicked to Twilight Princess trailer. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be the game of all time. I rewatched the trailer. You know, it was the trailer when Miyamoto comes out afterwards, and with this Sword Master Shield and Hadian Sword Shield, and he's like, hey. You know, the trailer, I think it for some reason it used like Conan the Barbarian music, I think, and it made me think, holy shit, Twilight Princess is gonna be the greatest video game of all time. It's not the greatest video game of all time, but it's still my favorite Zelda game. It's also one of those games it was the first game I kinda got really close to release day. Because that year, when it came out, 2006, I got a Wii for Christmas. I literally got a Wii in the same year it released. You know, like 3 weeks after it released. And I still have to sometimes listen to my mom telling me it was the hardest thing she has ever done, getting a Wii. And you know, I got like Christmas money for my grandma and stuff. And obviously with my Wii, I only had Wii Sports. And then I went to MediaMarkt with my friend, and I got Twilight Princess for the Nintendo Wii. I went home, we put the disc into the console, and we were like, oh, holy shit. Needless to say, one of the most bestest Christmases I ever had. Yeah. And then, you know, a few years have passed, and then Skyward Sword. I was already in college at that time, and you know, I was like pre-ordering the limited edition with the golden remote and everything, and it came on a Friday, and I beat it on that weekend. I played like 40 hours, even though I had college on next Monday, and I achieved the ending of the game, and I was like so full of love inside of me that I stood up like an American and I clapped. I clapped at the credits. I was like saying, Miyamoto and Aonuma, you guys did it again. This is the greatest Zelda game of all time. And I was like replaying it a couple of days later. I was like, holy shit. Maybe it's not the greatest one, but it was still okay. I wish I would have been full of pilk. And you know, Skyward Sword, my opinion of it, okay game, but Jesus Christ, it's probably the weakest Zelda of all time. And then, you know, years pass, you know, till the first trailer they showed of Breath of the Wild. Holy shit. I need to pee. Can I go pee? Well, anyways, that's my Zelda story. The thing is, let's count how many I've played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I played 80. 18 out of 100. That's a pretty good rate. I played like 80%. 80%. I'm so fucking good at math. Because 80% of 100 is 80. Like it's 4/5, you know? But the good thing is, I have this whole fucking list also with anime. No, Breath of Fire all alone. I have a friend who played Breath of Fire though. He likes it a lot. But, you know, he's the only one I know. Okay, the good thing is, I have this kind of list also with anime, and that's what I'm gonna do now. There we go. What is your variety anime score? You know, and that could be way less. You know, I mean, I don't know what this. I haven't looked at this list, and I don't know what is like the time range, if it's mostly like older anime or newer anime. So this could be like, I would say maybe 50% at least. You know, maybe, you know, how maybe that's like the clue for you to play it. Like maybe you should become the person that plays. Bro, I have to pee real quick though. That's to piss, otherwise he misses the toilet. What does it even mean? Wouldn't that literally mean that I have such a big dick that I miss because it doesn't fit? Yes, I did wash my hands. Okay, the thing is, what is your variety anime score? This is gonna be a little bit harder, you know, because oopsie, sorry. Because, well, I have no, I mean, recently I'm not that much of a big anime watcher anymore. So let's pick some random one. The thing is, what is future? Wait, that is future diary. Don't tell me that's like Mirai Nikki, right? I forgot how to write that. Mirai Nikki. That's, yeah, it's future diary. Okay. The thing is, this is the anime that literally made people even know that Yandere exists. Probably most of the time. I've seen it. I've watched it, and well, I mean, I wouldn't mind a cute Yandere girlfriend, you know. I'm gonna say it how it is. What else do I remember about it though? Like, I like the openings and the endings, I think, but aside from that, it was okay, I guess. The thing is kind of hard to judge because, in a way, I never read the manga. Good joke, Haru. And the thing is, Urusei Yatsura, I only watched the remake recently, and it's so boring. It's the same joke every episode. Every episode, the same thing happens. Every episode, it's like her, like Loom. She's always like, "Oh, you cheated on me again, you asshole!" And she electrocutes him. And this gag happens in every episode 5 times. And basically, the only reason why you would ever watch this is for like cute girls. It has a lot of cute girls. Everything else about this is like so I have watched 8 episodes before I dropped it, and I haven't laughed a single time. There was nothing for me to be laughing at. It made me think, Loom, I'm sorry, but I can't watch this anymore. I'm not quite sure if it's like super different than from the original, but yeah. Okay, let's go to another one that I didn't like too much. K-On! If you ever talk to a girl who likes anime, never tell her that you don't like K-On! K-On! Is the most boring anime I've ever watched in the history of anime. I watched this in like 2011, like basically when it was airing, and was like, holy shit, it was the first anime I ever dropped. I dropped it after like 5 episodes, and back in the day I enjoyed every shit anime. It was the time where I started watching anime. And it was the first anime that made me think, yeah, I'm dropping this. And you know, you should never tell this to a girl. Never tell to a girl that you never liked Keon. Never talk to Keon or Yuri fan and say you don't like the shows. I mean, I liked Yuri. That kind of was funny at least. Keon was just boring. Never watched Banana Fish. I just googled what the fuck Banana Fish is. I have never seen that before. New game. I think new game anime. What was new game anime? I think I've watched that. New game. Oh, it's the one with the little girls working in the video game maker thing, right? Where they work in an office together. Yeah, I've seen that one. I forgot everything about it though. I know that she's a gamer and she like they work on video games, right? And there's like this cute blonde one that is always overworked, and it was okay. I only watched the first season though. Isn't there like a second season? It was okay, I guess. There's 3 seasons? I thought there's only like 2. Literally, only Yuri baits you as it ends with the manga actually getting 2 characters married. Thanks for the spoiler. Maybe I still wanted to watch. I never watched Bleach. This is probably one of the biggest things I've never watched when it comes to anime. I have never seen Bleach. So, I watched Zombieland Saga though. Both seasons. Isn't there a 3rd season nowadays? Wait, how many seasons are there again? Zombieland Saga. Aren't there like 3 seasons? Like I watched the first 2, I think. And yeah, there's a 3rd season already. I watched the first 2, but then yeah, I don't. Did I watch? I don't think I watched the 3rd one. Watched the first 2 seasons, and it was fun. But I guess they had to milk it pretty fast. Maybe one day I will watch the 3rd one if I haven't watched it. It was an enjoyable anime though. The first season, it was like one of those anime that nobody was hyped for, and then suddenly it came out and everyone was like, wow, this is so funny, watch this. And then you kind of watch it and you think, yeah, was pretty okay. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, I've watched like half of it. It's okay. I'm gonna say it. It's okay. Mappa, I hate Mappa. I have to say it. I hate Mappa. Mappa can suck my cock. Mappa is the worst new anime studio of all time. Just have to say it. Mappa is bad. People joke this show off with how good it looks, but it looks like so floaty. The thing is, I'm not gonna be negative today. No, I'm not gonna say bad things. It was okay. Let's say this. Kind was kind of poggies. I mean, the thing is, I started reading a manga, and the thing is, I don't like the art in the manga. The art in the manga is like so hard to follow that I would rather wait for the new season to continue. Like I read like this whole arc till like chapter 120 or whatever. But yeah. When They Cry, I watched obviously all of it. I watched like the original anime, I watched like the OVAs, watched the 2nd season, and then I watched the new season, which was kind of... The thing is, most people would say that the new Higurashi anime was total trash with the way it went. Like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it goes like Dragon Ball mode. And I can understand why people wouldn't like it. Like, first off, it's like a rehash. Like, if you watch the first 2 seasons of it, the old one, you kind of know everything, what happens here, but there's new stuff, and it makes you think, I wasted 25 episodes for literally 1 new episode that actually adds something new. Kinda. Well, you have cute girls, so everything's fine. Psychopaths. I don't understand what the fuck happened to Psychopaths. The first Psychopaths season, or the first Psychopaths anime. The first 26 episodes of the first original one. One of my favorites of all time. Psychopaths is like the best cyberpunk anime for me. It made me go, oh, oh no. It made me go like, wow. One was called Gas Pass. I mean, as a German, I have that one. But then they released a movie that was shit. They released a 2nd season that was even more shit. They, for some fucking reason, after those things flopped, they released another movie, I think, and that movie flopped again, and then they made a 3rd season, and that season also, I hope it's fucking dead at this point. Like, they kept making more and more, even though everyone said this sucks. Like, it got bad ratings, it got bad views, everything about it was bad, and they kept making more. Why? Obviously, here we go, Love Life. The funniest thing is, if I have never watched Love Life, I would have not met Haru. Isn't it weird how life can be like that? If I've never watched Love Life and would have not used Nico to post with her images on 4chan, I have never met Haru then. That's like the crazy thing. It actually found me my friends. Without Love Life, without Nico, there would be no Haru. And to be honest, I mean, it's what can you say about Love Life? Like, Love Life is fucking Love Life. I don't love my life, so yeah, what can I say? I mean, it's an anime about idols. Woohoo! Not much to say. So, domestic girlfriend, no idea what it is. SSSS. Oh wait, Gridman is the one with the girl who has like these really big thighs, right? SSV Gridman. I never watched that, I think. Yeah, that's with Rika Takarada. And her big thighs. I never watched it. So, laid back camp again. Here we're gonna get to my first big hot take of today. I don't like slice of life anime much. Like, slice of life anime is like SSS means shitting, sucking, scissoring, sloppy blowjob. Yeah, I agree. Never watch it though. Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Holy shit, that reawakens memories. You know, obviously, I only watched like the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Season. What is even the first one? Like I mean, I watched also season 0, which only came out in Japan, but what counts as the first anime season? Like Pegasus? I watched the whole Pegasus stuff, and I watched the whole city duel stuff. And afterwards I stopped, where they went back into like ancient Egypt. But I think that was still like part of season 1. Like, I watched like Pegasus, Battle City, and then I dropped it. I mean, it's not like I dropped it, but I stopped watching it, even though it was on TV. Because I got older, and I was like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Heh. And it also then switched like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and whatever the fuck. Mob Psycho, you know, if you have never watched Mob Psycho, if there's any anime here that I can recommend to anyone, it would be Mob Psycho. Like all 3 seasons, like it recently finished airing, you know, all seasons. And if there's one anime I have to recommend to anyone, it would be Mob Psycho. Like it's an anime that's perfect. The first season perfect, second season perfect, third season perfect. Did you like the episode where Kaiba made a video game where he made his brother a princess so he could molest his virtual avatar? I mean, wasn't he like adopted too? Like the brother? I think the brother was adopted. So actually it's not like that bad. So, I mean, obviously he's still underage, but you know how anime is sometimes. Here, Princess Adena. I mean, Shidori looking nice, right? Like here, Mokuba Kaiba, he was like adopted, right? Something like I watched. I know, but yeah, here, unknown parents deceased. No, oh, wait, adoptive father. Yeah, he was adopted. That's what I remember. And I remember that something else I remembered. Like I read like the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Like before the card game was there, because it was in the German magazine I read. There was something else about him, but I forgot. But yeah, I mean, he looks cute as a princess, you know. And the English dub Adena has a British accent. Okay, never mind. Here's another. The thing is, everyone says you should watch Tatami Galaxy, and I have never watched it. And the thing is, I made the mistake of watching the Danganronpa anime. I don't know which anime it means, like one season. I watched like the original after I played the original game, and I watched the Danganronpa 3, and it was a shit show. I remember, you know, like one of the plot points was literally one guy being gay and Yunko having like pictures of him being gay, so she would then use him to destroy the school somehow because he was like a teacher, right? And it was not okay to be gay, so she would have leaked the pictures to show everyone that he's gay, and he's like, no, I will kill people for you, don't show people I'm gay, something like that. It was like, it was so fucking stupid, but it was funny. It was like the good kind of stupid. Adina is the name of the currency in Lineage 2. That is valuable information I will not forget in the next 5 minutes. Next time, you know, I will remember that forever. You know, maybe one day I will be on a quiz show where I get asked, what is the currency in Lineage 2? I can then say, thanks to you, Adena. Also, here is another one. I have to say, I dropped Lucky Star. I have never completed watching Lucky Star when I was younger. It was like, the thing about Lucky Star is, it's like an anime that parodies a lot of other anime, right? And the thing is, when I didn't watch a lot of anime, I watched Lucky Star pretty early, so I didn't get all the references. I was like, yeah, this is fucking boring and unfunny. Like, I got the obvious ones like Haruri, but everything else was like, it wasn't funny. So, maybe nowadays I should give it a try again. This was like over 10 years ago. Okay, I never watched Banania. I never watched Symphogy, even though I have friends who say this is the best thing ever made. I never watched Tokyo Ghoul. And now, another hot take, I watched the first Made in Abyss season, but I dropped it again. I watched like 10 episodes and was like, this kind of sucks. The thing is, here's the deal. It gives me really weird vibes. Like, I could watch an anime about lollies and not feel weird, but watching Made in Abyss with all the pedophile shit, like, oh, it's very important that we show the little boy's penis all the time and shit like that. It made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel like I don't want to watch it. It made me feel dirty, you know. It was weird as fuck. I never felt this before. And then it feels like the author's fetishes are like all over the place in this anime, and you know, I think you're seeing things you want to see. How? It literally, watch the first 2 episodes, and the woman who works at the orphanage, it's like, oh, put your pants down, we have to inspect your penis. And it's like, it's weird as fuck. Like, look at the author. I don't like to judge people by the way they look like, but Google the author's look, how he looks like. He is a pedophile, 100%. I'm gonna say it. He's a pedophile. That's the only anime creator where I would say he's a pedophile, except the other ones that got caught. How am I making shit up? It's literally what happens. You see the little boy's penis in like the first 3 episodes, every single episode. And then in the second season, you have like the other monsters. Yeah, I don't even have to talk about those scenes, right? And it just makes you think, Jesus Christ. And you know, if you see a picture of how the guy looks like who made in Abyss, everything clicks, everything makes fucking sense. I would never call someone else pedophile without evidence, but he will get busted one day. In the next 10 years, that guy is going to go to jail. I'm going to tell you. I watched Hirobaku. Was fun. Was okay. Don't remember much about it. But it has this cute gothic girl. Was she a voice actor? Or she was she was an animator. Why would she be dressed as a gothic girl if she's an animator? Like, the main character was like a animator and whatever. It's basically an anime about how to make anime. But kind of cute. Familia of Zero. What is that again? Familia of Zero. Oh, Zero no Tsukaima. This was one of the first edgy anime I've ever watched. You know, it's like the one with like the pink-haired witch girl. And there's like this really cute, what's her name? Dark witch. Like, she's brown and she's really cute, and she's always like, oh, have sex with me, main character, please, please, please. And she always throws herself at him. And it was like one of the first edgy anime I watched, and it made me so fucking mad. It made me so mad that he was never having sex with her. And you know, obviously after a while I understood that this is not how anime works. Anime works in a way where the main character is way too fucking dense. And it made me so mad. It made me so mad that he wouldn't just have sex with her. And I kind of hated the show, but I kept watching the first 2 seasons, and then there was a new one, and I never watched, whatever. Great teacher Onizuka, obviously a must-watch for everyone. I mean, maybe not a must-watch, but it was also the only anime I actually watched on YouTube. I watched these episodes in like 3 parts on YouTube, and I don't know why. At that time, I was already downloading like torrents about like anime, like everything together. But for some reason I couldn't find one, so I had to watch it on YouTube. And that kind of made me sad. But great anime. Slam Dunk, haven't watched. It's like an anime about basketball, right? So why is this one so silent? Taking the 4. Then I obviously Pokemon. Every little kid around the time went back home after elementary school to catch the newest Pokemon episode. And then obviously Digimon, Doremi, Pretty Cure, One Piece. You know, there was, everyone has watched Pokemon. Everyone. Even if you didn't want to, you had to. Okay, another Slice of Life anime. I mean, it's not really Slice of Life, it's more like forced drama. Toradora. I'm going to throw up. I watched this and it was like so bad. I hate romance anime most of the time because most of the things that happen in a romance anime can easily be solved by just talking. But these characters never want to talk. Every time someone wants to talk, they're like, no, I can't talk. Slap, slappity slap. And then she slaps him all the time. No, she's fucking abusive, but she's like, no, I'm so cute. I can't be abusive. Yeah, trash. Clannad. I mean, the first Clannad season was okay, but Clannad After Story, Jesus Christ, you know, I think everyone has cried. Anyone who has watched Clannad After Story has cried. If there's anyone who who watched it who hasn't cried, you're lying. Oh, my voice is fucking dying just because I talk too much when I have to do a fucking list that's like this. Yeah, Clannad After Story, you know, the sunflower scene and some other stuff. Never watched Black Butler, you know, crazy, right? Like, you would think I would watch something as gay as that, but no, I have not. I have not watched Black Butler. Oh, and now one of my personal favorites, Monster. Another anime that I would recommend. I mean, the thing is, I would recommend this to everyone, but it can be quite slow paced, you know. Like, it's an anime about a doctor who saves a patient, where this main story kind of goes around it. Should I have saved him? Because he saved him and he turns into a monster. Get it? That's why it's called Monster. So he's a doctor and he says, I'm a doctor and I save anyone. Like, basically, main character, if Hitler would be dying, he would also save Hitler. But it's a better comparison if he would have saved Hitler before Hitler did bad things. If he saves Hitler after he did bad things, he would still do it, I think, because he's like, I save anyone, and obviously, you know, if you heal him, he gets to prison and everything afterwards. Obviously, you know, the whole psychological and physiological question is, was it right to save him? Obviously, it could be a simple answer, no. But more like yes, because he couldn't have known what happens when he saves him, right? Because he's like a mass murderer, serial killer, math manipulator. Basically, the whole story is about finding him again, you know, and, you know, getting answers. And it has a lot of great characters. And, you know, the guy who wrote the story also made like 20th Century Boys, which I didn't like too much, but he also made like Billy Bat and Pluto. Pluto is great. The thing is, for some reason, they announced like a Pluto animation adaptation 10 years ago, and for some reason, they're still saying they're working on it, but every day I give up hope. I even forgot it existed for the last 2 years. Okay, Emo is another anime that I watched for zero fucking reason when it was airing. I was like, you know, normally Kuroneko deserved better. All I'm gonna fucking say. I mean, there's nothing to salvage here. That was a bad anime. Really bad anime. Okay, then we have Kakegurui. Obviously Nichijou before, but I will come to that. That's the gamble anime, right? With the girl who's like really good at gambling. I watched the first season. I enjoyed it. It was fine. It wasn't the greatest of all time, but it was also not the shittiest of all time. It was something that you would watch and think, yeah, I enjoyed it. And then they made a second season, and then at the second season, I never watched it. Also, Nichijou is one of those things where sometimes there would be a banger episode full of jokes that make you cry, laugh, and then sometimes there would be an episode that makes you think, yeah, this was boring. Like, it's not the fault of the anime because they have to, you know, Girl clerk at the manga store called Kakegurui creepy. Why? Like, isn't the story basically about how most of the girls are bad? Like, literally, isn't every gambler who's good at that? Wait, are there even other boys? Like, isn't it literally just like? Wait, I kind of forgot. Is the main character the only boy? Like, it was something like that, right? Where it's normally only girls, but he kind of gets to the girls' school, and most of the girls, or was it the other way around, where all the boys kind of suck at it, and all the girls are like really good at gambling, and they keep the boys as like slaves? Maybe I'm like totally misremembering something. Like, I don't know what's creepy about it though. Like, I would wish I would be owned by a cute girl. Nichiro, yeah. There were some episodes that were like not funny at all, but obviously it's not the anime's fault. But you know, you don't want to leave out things to adapt, right? Because for some people, those would have been the funniest things. But sometimes, you know, I will forgive them because it was funny as fuck most of the time. What is Tech You again? I think I kind of remember Tech You. Like, it has like this main character girl that has like blue hair, kind of blue green. No, that is. Okay. Well, oh wait, it's this. Oh, it's a tennis one. I think it's like a short anime, like where every episode is like 5 minutes or something. I think I watched a little bit of the first season, and it has like 5 seasons or some shit. Then the girls basically not when they gamble. I do the same. Also, Gintama is on my list of things to watch one day. Naruto. I mean, hard not to watch it, right? I haven't really watched. I mean, I watched more Shippuden than the normal Naruto because I read the normal Naruto, and then eventually I was like, why am I even doing this? Then I dropped everything that had to do with Naruto. And yeah, here's one thing that I'm. Most anime people who love really good anime would tell me die if I would tell them that I never watched Perfect Blue, because it's made by the guy who also made like Paprika. I watched Paprika, you know, the movie director. What's his name? Satoshi Kon, I think. And he made like banger after banger. Like, people say he only made bangers. I didn't like Paprika too much, but Perfect Blue is like considered to be his best work. And he said he died in a car accident, I think, or was it cancer? I don't know. And yeah, it's on my list, but you know, I will watch it. Okay, Space Dandy. I have to say, never watched it. Case Closed is Detective Conan, and I watched that on TV all the time as a kid. Okay, I also watched No Game No Life. Is like, didn't he die doing public? I don't know if he died doing it or what after. I didn't like it too much though, but the soundtrack was good. One thing about No Game No Life that I never understood was, why was there never a second season? When No Game No Life came out, people were like all over it. Like, everyone was like, wow, this is cool. I was like, yeah, it's okay. And they never made a second season. They made like a movie or something, and you know, obviously the author got like, I mean, he didn't got busted for tracing, but yeah, it still is just surprising how they never made a second season. What was the name of like the angel again? That was the best girl. She started with the Y. Forgot the name. She was best girl. I never watched Agretsuko. Never watched Your Name either. Never watched Lupin the Third. But I watched the first season of Kaguya-sama, and then I just went over to reading the manga. And the sad thing about this is, again, the manga or the anime starts really funny, you know, but then it gets more serious, you know. It starts with like, it gets more drama and melodrama when they actually, you know, become a couple and stuff like that. It's like, it also feels a little bit like lame as fuck in the woman's department. Like, it kind of, like, it's funny as fuck together when they're together, and then suddenly it becomes like they're like together, and then everything is like unfunny as fuck suddenly. Like, they never play super pranks on each other anymore, kinda. And then it has like this subplot of her family trying to kill her and adopting her or kidnapping her, and then her butler is obviously trained in like combat, and the whole butler sub story, and was like I don't know, it became like kind of worse for me. Obviously I watched Sailor Moon back on TV. Erased also, I don't know which one. I think I watched Erased, and I also read the manga. I read the manga when the anime was airing, and obviously they have two different, like the ending got changed in the anime, I think, while the manga has a better ending. But I can't remember which one was like the end. I can't remember the ending in either one. It was okay. Like, I think it plummeted though. Like in the anime, it was like way worse sadly at the end. I think the manga one was for me like better. It wasn't like, they went like camping or something, and in the anime, I don't remember anymore. I would have to rewatch, but I don't want to. ReZero was actually, you know, it was like one of the first isekai hits I really watched. Like there was Sword Art Online before, but ReZero was like the first isekai I was like, let's give this a try. Why don't we? And the first season was like really fucking good. I loved the first season of ReZero. It took a while for the second season to come out, like 4 years or something. And ReZero 1, the first season, was like introduced so many new cool characters. It never got really boring. Like it was a little bit boring where it got like always, you know, the one thing I hated was about the part with Ram, you know, where I totally forgot what truly happened, where she basically lost her memory and they have to reawaken her, right, or something like that. And then the second season is the worst fucking piece of anime trash I've watched in a very long time. The second season of ReZero was so fucking trash. It was so fucking bad. It always played like in the sanctuary thingy. I can't really explain it, but there's a scene where Subaru really confesses to Emilia, and he goes on to the cringiest monologue of all time, and then she responds with like the most cringy monologue of all time too, and then they kind of kiss. I think they kissed, and it made me think, holy shit, this is the worst anime scene I have seen since I have watched anime. Nothing what either person said about the other person was any kind of truth in there. Nothing made sense. It was like so fucking trash. I stopped the episode and I was like, I'm done with the ReZero. I'm fucking done. I will never watch the third season. I will never fucking read the light novels. I'm done with this shit. That scene with them two, you know, talking about their feelings to each other with a kiss ending, it made me feel like shit. It made me feel like, holy shit, I've never seen something like this before in my life that was so badly written. Play the visual novel? No. Yeah, ReZero fucking died with the second season. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't even care about Rem anymore. I don't even care if she gets revived or something. FLCL or Furikuri. I even own the soundtrack on CDs. Because one day I walked into the local manga or anime store and I saw the CDs there. And I just copped them for like $5 each. And there was also like a Serial Experiments Lane CD. But it wasn't like the original soundtrack. It was like a original remix thing, and that CD is worth over $100 nowadays. It's kind of weird because I bought it for $10 and it's still on the disc, you know. It has a sticker, $5. So now it's like the Fire Emblem, you know, that I bought for $9. It like toppled its prices. I watched a little bit of Yuri on Ice, never really completed it. I think it was also another one of those anime that was like super big at the time, and then they kind of didn't make it fast enough a second season. They made a movie, I think. Yeah, what to say? I kind of watched it for the Russian boy. Akira is obviously the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. Like the thing is, people, I mean, it's like very influential too, you know. Like it has like this iconic "I'm sliding on my bike" scene. It's an anime that didn't make me really think and stuff like that. Why? Like there's always people who say like, "Oh, this was so deep and complex," but for me, I just watched it and I was like, cool animation, holy shit. Especially for its age. But I also watched the first season of Origairu, and again, this kind of felt like what I just talked about, like ReZero. Like, it's like, nothing about this feels natural. Like, it's like the author has never experienced real love before, and all the characters are so fucking stupid. Especially main character. Anyone who says they're like the main character, like here, red flag immediately. No, you're not like the main character here. You're even stupider than him. Even though he's He's hard to top, but seeing yourself inside of him and wanting to be like him, don't do that. It has the cute boy though. It has the very cute boy. I have to rewatch Akira actually. Maybe I should do it too. It has been a while. But yeah, it has cool animation. I watched Kill La Kill. It was okay. Like cool animation, half-naked girls. I want to smell Satsuki's asshole after she just took a big shit. And then she steps on me. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like this. But yeah, I also watched Dragon Maid, but only the first season. For some reason, the second season made me think, don't feel like it. Even though it has like the cute dragon with the really big tits. Like the small one. Iruru, I think. She's cute. I watched the first season of Durarara. The thing is, it's a cool anime. But the thing about Durarara was that it was like very confusing. Because there's like 20 characters that are like kind of the main characters all together. And then it took like 3 years for the second season. At that point, I would have rewatched the first one because I didn't remember anything anymore. And it was like, I would just read the visual novel then, the light novel. Maybe him to turn me into the end. Yeah, that was his friend who transformed into that thing. Even though he transformed too, right, with his gun in the head, something like that. Never watched Bia Stars, but I watched Food Wars. Then I read the manga, and the art is really good in the manga. I would recommend the manga because the anime is like bad in comparison, but Food Wars goes to shit. Like there's like this character arc where Erika Nakiri, I think that's her name, her dad comes into the story, and after that it's like fun cooking stuff, and then suddenly it's like a car crash. It's like super shit because it goes like super serious suddenly, and it's like just really trash. I watched Hero Experiments Lane, boring as fuck, never recommend this to anyone, and stay clear from people who like this anime. People who like this anime are people who want to look deeper than they actually are. Like, it's literally only by people, like, trust me, stay away from them. My Hero Academia, I watched a little bit of the anime, but I read the manga. I started reading the manga, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. The thing is, at this point, I'm just reading it for Toga. Like, every time I open a new chapter, I just skip through the chapter, see if Toga is there, and then just, see if she's in a cute pose so I can save the picture. That's all I'm doing when I read the new chapters. Because it's fucking bull. The whole manga is like so fucking trash. The thing is, Toga doesn't even get a fight. Like, the thing is, they're setting up this fight between Toga and Ochako, and they haven't shown anything of it. Like, there's this whole fight with Ochako and the fork girl fighting against Toga, and then there's like one chapter where they show a little bit, and then it's like 20 chapters of like everyone else fighting like cool fights and shit. All the men get cool fights, but the girls, one chapter, literally one chapter with a fight, and then they get transported, and then they don't show up again. Like, I think the author, the mangaka of My Hero Academia hates women. I'm 100% sure that he hates women. Like, there's not a single woman who gets a cool fight in this manga. Like, zero. Like, all the women either die, get hurt immediately. I mean, there's the bunny girl, but the bunny girl fights, loses a leg. Bunny girl fights again, loses an arm. Bunny girl fights again, she keeps losing all her body parts. It's like, bro, do you have a fetish for this shit? The thing is, he has a cool art style, but the way he writes stories and dialogue, trash. Spirited Away was my first Ghibli movie was Princess Mononoke. Like, watching Princess Mononoke on TV made me think, holy shit. I was like 10 years old, and it was like, holy shit. But then one day they also showed Spirited Away, and it's like, holy shit again. Like, it's a beautiful story, beautiful soundtrack, great animation. It's like a movie that you just watch and think, yeah, cool. And it stays with you for a little bit. But yeah, but aside from those two, I also watched Howl's Moving Castle. That was boring as fuck. And aside from that, My Neighbor Totoro, also very cute, but it could fall a little bit onto the boring side. Like, it's not like just a cute slice of life anime about a big animal thing. I watched Inuyasha as a kid, not too much though. It's like one of those anime that you watched before like Pokemon and stuff was on. Gee, I talk way too much. just because I drank something, my freaking... Hello. Get back in place, model. Please? I'm begging you. Oh, there we go. Anohano or Anohana, another melodramatic anime that I couldn't handle because it was so fucking boring. Watched like a couple of episodes and was like, am I supposed to cry at any of this? Like, it's like trying so hard to make you cry that it doesn't become sad. Also, Soul Eater, I've watched the anime and I have to say the author of Soul Eater is one of my favorite authors. Like, Soul Eater and Fire Force are fucking great. Like, the thing is, Soul Eater, the manga ending is kind of meh, and the anime ending is also kind of meh, but the author of like Soul Eater and Fire Force has like so much style, you know, his art is fucking amazing. And I'm so fucking hyped for the next season of Fire Force, like the 3rd season soon. Because I don't want to spoil anything, but it goes hard as fuck. It goes so fucking hard. But yeah, Soul Eater also goes hard. Like, it's like what I watch anime for. It's, for me, it's like the perfect shonen. Like, it's like stupid, fun, crazy, cool. It has like everything together, you know? Like, it makes you think, you know, cool. It makes you think, this is cool. You don't really care about how deep or cool the combat systems are. You just think, yeah, people fighting, being cool. Yeah, stylish, you know? And yeah, Blair is my cat girl witch girlfriend. I have lost way too much semen to her throughout my life. Yeah. She deserves her own anime. Just so I can cool more. Helsing. Obviously there's Helsing Ultimate and Helsing the TV show. And there's a funny story here. You know, I bought a gaming magazine sometimes with a DVD. And they had like games on there and stuff. And one episode, and they had like an anime special. I would say the 10 Fire Force Captain Shakes So Hard. Same. I forgot her name. But I prefer... what's her name with the... Her name is not... Is her name also Tatsumaki? Something like that. Like, not the green head from One Punch Man, but the girl who is like the cat girl. I think her name is also Tatsumaki. Like, she's the one that always falls on the main character and he touches her because, haha, that's her special skill. Yeah. Helsing. So they had like a few issues of like special anime, and there was like Wolfsbane, and they also had Helsing, the original TV show. And I was too scared to watch it. But then eventually I watched like the original Helsing TV show. It was also on like TV after a while. Like, it was on NTV or Fox. It was okay. Like, I didn't know better. Nowadays it's like, it has a different style than the actual Helsing, right? Like, actual Helsing is like Ultimate. In Ultimate it goes so fucking hard. Sometimes I still wonder why there was Alucard literally turning into a little girl. But he looked cute as fuck as a little girl. He looked more like a little boy, but he was like both. He was a little boy but a little girl too. And he looked cute as fuck, or she looked cute as fuck. And I still don't know why he really did that. I think he lost his power, but then he was like, I think it was like because of the butler, because the butler was like the butler of that. I don't fucking know. But yeah, Zeras Victoria, hot as fuck. Would marry. Hajime no Ippo, an anime that surprised me. Hajime no Ippo was like boxing. It's an anime about boxing. And I am not into boxing, right? But I started watching it. It made me want to box. It made me want to become a boxer. Me, a fucking 5'2" little dude, wanted to become a boxer because of this anime. Even if you don't like boxing, I would recommend this. The broship between the characters makes you think, holy shit, bros for life. It just made me think like, holy shit. All these characters are like so cool to each other. It's very nice. I would recommend this, even if you're not into boxing. The first season is great. All seasons are kind of great, but the first one is like the most soulful one. Karakano, I think it's like the anime where I sometimes see the girl of, like, his and her circumstances. I've heard a lot about this anime because for some reason the main girl character makes the main character rape her after someone cheated, or I don't fucking know. Like, there's like some weird stuff going on. I never watched Revolutionary Utena. Konosuba, obviously. have watched that, both seasons and the movie. And soon there's like Megumin's spin-off anime coming out. You better watch it. Even though I think Megumin is like the worst character of the three. You know, like the main character, the main girls. Like Darkness, bigger than Aqua, but Aqua is bigger than Megumi. That's just how it goes. But you know, I'd like to imagine that Megumi has like a really big futa cock, and she used that to fuck Darkness and Aqua daily. So, never mind. Moving on. Fate. I have to say, I'm a secondary. You know, people will come on me now for saying that I don't care about the visual novel. I don't care about the gacha game. But Fate Zero is the best Fate anime star. It's the best Fate for me. Period. Like, I also watch like Fate Ultimate Blade Works, whatever it's called, and it's like so much worse in comparison. Like, still great animation, but the story is like so much worse. The wizard chick is the best Konosuba girl. You mean Wiz? Did you know her name is Wiz? Because she's a wizard? I get it? Wizard Wiz? Good one. I watched the first Madoka Magica. I never watched the movies, and I always hear people say that the movies are making it better. I didn't like it when I was watching it. I was watching it while it was airing on TV though, or like on Japanese TV. And you know, why is my desktop not showing again now? There we go. And I never watched the movies. Maybe I should, but I don't want to. So moving on. JoJo. Obviously, I've watched every JoJo part so far except 6. The thing is, I didn't like the part when I read it, and I'm not gonna watch the anime. I refuse. No JoJo part 6 for me. The only thing that kinda saves JoJo part 6 is Pucci. The only good thing about JoJo part 6 is him. Everything else about JoJo part 6, the good thing is, we finally finished part 6. And we are finally to part 7, the best JoJo part of all time. Part 7 is gonna fucking slap. I don't care if they make it air every week or if they dump it on Netflix. I just want to see part 7. I want to see part 7. I want to see part 7. It's the best JoJo part. I'm gonna cum. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna cum to part 7. Juju Hakusho. I've watched it with the English dub. Don't kill me. The English dub of Juju Hakusho is the only acceptable English dub. I'm gonna say it. It's the only acceptable English dub. It is actually kind of funny. But I also read the manga normally, so I get like both experiences. Here's the thing that may be surprising, but I never watched Sword Art Online. But I watched the first Ghost in the Shell movie and Standalone Complex 1 and 2, the anime. What can I say? It's an anime movie that's really good animation and everything. There's also Steins Gate, which I never watched. You Lie in Apple, never watched, but I have watched Demon Slayer. Only the first season and a couple of episodes from the second season. I started reading the manga after the first season, and the ending is trash, kinda, but animation great. I guess I will watch all these seasons when they release. But overall, it's like the anime gets carried by its animation, I would say. I don't understand how it became such a breakout hit. I mean, I have no idea how it became like the best-selling manga every fucking year in manga form. Like, it doesn't do anything special. Okay, here we go though. Gurren Lagann. I want to fuck Yoko so hard. I want to fuck her when she was 14, and I want to fuck her when she is like 25. Yeah. What can you say about Gurren Lagann? It's a fun anime. You watch it and you go like hype as fuck. Thing is, what I noticed about this list, there's no Pantheon stalking. The best trigger show, like obviously Gurren Lagann was still under the name of Gainax, but same with Pantheon stalking, but obviously now it's like all trigger stuff. Wouldn't there be like Pierce My Pussy? No. Yeah, Gurren Lagann, really fun to watch. Never watched none. Here's my ultimate recommendable anime. Ping Pong the Animation. Listen to me. If you have never watched Ping Pong the Animation, please watch it. please, I will suck your cock. I will whim job you. Do it. It is the best 12 episodes of anime you could watch. It's an anime about ping pong, but it's so more. It's much more than that. It's more than just ping pong. I've watched it. Where's my whim job? No, I said people that haven't watched it should watch it. Then they get a whim job. So, you know? Like, it doesn't count if you already watched it. Yeah, it's amazing. It's actually perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm gonna say it. It's fucking perfect. One Punch Man season 1 also perfect. Season 1, season 2 we don't talk about that one, and now season 3 got announced with Mappa behind it, and it's gonna fucking suck. Like, Mappa will never do any justice to it. Mappa wishes they would be like Madhouse. Mappa fucked up Chainsaw Man so hard. They fucked up Chainsaw Man when Chainsaw Man wasn't even going hard yet. Like, the first arc of Chainsaw Man are kind of like pussy shit, kinda. And they couldn't even animate that well enough. Like, imagine Chainsaw Man going like, you know, and yeah, you should watch Ping Pong, the animation, the anime. If a company can't even animate the first 12 no way you watched what didn't watch it. One Punch, Ping Pong. I literally have Ping Pong on my anime list as my favorite anime of all time. Why wouldn't I watch it? I literally watched it while it was airing in 2014. Nobody who never watched it would not even remember what year it came out. And I even have like a special connection to the anime, but that would go like way too deep and way too sad for me to tell the story. But obviously I fucking watched it. Otherwise I wouldn't recommend it. Do you think I'm joking about me recommending Ping Pong the animation? I 100% mean everything I said about it. It's my favorite anime of all time. But yeah, One Punch Man Season 3 made by Mappa will suck cocks. Like, One Punch Man 3, it's gonna have the whole arc with the Monster Association under the ground, and it has so many big fights that Mappa will... no company could do it justice. Like, no company, no anime production studio could make it work. Like, One Punch Man as manga works because they have fucking... what's his name? Murata as the person who draws it. Why is this looping? Like, this playlist suddenly started playing everything backwards. Like, all the songs that already played. Okay, there we go. Yeah, One Punch Man sadly died after season 1, and every season afterwards doesn't exist. Read the manga, please. Evangelion, obviously watched it. I also watched the first 2 Rebuild movies. Never watched the third one yet. I have no interest in it anymore. I own all the manga though. There could be so much that could be said, but I'm too lazy to do it right now. Haruri, watched the first season. I was like, kind of boring. Then I watched the second season while it was airing, and as 8, it was even more boring. How the fuck do you make a boring anime and make it even more boring? Repeat the same episode 8 times. There you go. Obviously, I watched Cowboy Bebop. It's like the first anime that anyone recommends you when you start watching anime. It is okay. It is not something that makes me think, yeah, best of all time. It's okay. It's like a 7 out of 10, kind of for me. Never watched Haikyuu. Never. Oh wait, no wait. That never watching it means I don't cross it. I never watched Fruits Basket. Code Geass, really great. Like, Code Geass is an anime that has ended perfectly till they announced like tons of other OVAs and shit like that. Like, it has a perfect ending, and suddenly they announce a new Code Geass and shit like that. It makes you think, no. Stop that. Gundam, well, I have never watched anything with Gundam. There's like 2,000 anime of Gundam, never watched a single one. I watched the first season of Monogatari, kind of dropped it because it was kind of boring. Yeah. I still want to take Hanakawa out on a date though. I watched the Dragon Ball, I watched Dragon Ball the original show, Z, and a little bit of GT. And now we come to something that I wish I wouldn't have watched. And it's called Attack on Titan. You know, back in the day when the first season aired of Attack on Titan, like 2013, I watched it and was like, oh, kind of cool concept. And I was at that point in my life where I was watching anime that made me feel something special, you know, something that made me think, okay, it has something special. Because all the main characters die, and if main characters die, that means it's cool, right? And then, you know, Aaron gets eaten, you know, and you're like, holy shit, they killed off the main character in the third episode. It's like, holy shit. And suddenly, he gets out and he becomes a Titan himself. And it's like, dropped. Because I'm like, nah, they keep him alive now. And then, you know, a few years after that, I was like, hey, you know, maybe I should give Attack on Titan another chance. And I watched the anime, I was like, holy shit, animation-wise, cool soundtrack by Savano. Why did I drop this? And then, you know, I caught up with it, and then I read the manga. You know, every month a new chapter came out, and was like, wow, this is getting better and better. And it's like, wow, wow. And then we're getting closer and closer to the ending. And they announced the new season made by Mappa, and the anime fucking CGI trash. Mappa, fuck you. And you know, it got closer and closer to the ending, and it got very cringe towards the ending with a few chapters. But it was like, hey, you know, we still need to see the full ending. You know, what was Aaron really thinking? Because they don't really show him in the last 20 chapters anymore. And then you get to the last few chapters, and it makes you think. Yeah, it makes you think, why did I waste my time with this trash? It has one of the worst endings to anything I have ever read. Like, no kidding. I have never experienced something that destroyed an ending for me so hard as Attack on Titan. I literally can't even listen to the OST anymore. It made me hate the whole franchise so much I can't listen to the OST anymore. Because anytime I hear the OST, I like go, nah, I too many bad memories now because of the ending. Danganronpa Volume 3 has like some of the best endings in any video game ever, and you're wrong. And I will not elaborate because my voice is kind of killing me right now. Lol, he, lol, ha, lol. Yeah, it just says you have bad taste. Full Metal Alchemist, obviously, I watched both. First, obviously, the old one, then when Brotherhood was airing, I started watching it. In some ways, the first, I like the ending of the first, you know, I like the ending of the first anime more than the actual ending to the manga and anime Brotherhood. But it has been a long time. You know? Okay, I have also watched Death Note, and you know, if we imagine that the second half of Death Note doesn't exist, you know, there's a good cutoff point where one character should have won. If nothing after that would have happened, it would have been perfect. It should have ended at that point. You know, I'm someone who thinks Light should have won. I'm gonna say it. Literally, the second half of Death Note is like, we make the first half of Death Note again, but worse. And you know, suddenly we turn Light into a cocky asshole, which kind of makes sense because he literally killed the best detective in the world, but then suddenly a 12-year-old and a dude who loves to eat chocolate all the time are suddenly even smarter. Why did they have to drag it on and drag on these nuts? Obviously, I watched One Piece when I was a kid, but then there was like a long time where I didn't watch One Piece again, and then I started reading it again because a person subbed and told me to read it again, and I had to do it because, you know, if someone subs, I have to do what they tell me to do. So I read like 1,000 chapters of One Piece in like 2 months, and it was not a mistake. The one thing I have to say about One Piece is that somewhere along the line, the art style changed to the worse. It feels like so weird to say, but like the first, will you play Harry the Girlie if I sub? No, that everything but that. Something about the first, like, if you start reading One Piece from the start again, and eventually you see like the art style switch. Like, it's not worse, but it kind of is worse. It has like less details. But the thing is, what makes One Piece so great, but also so much worse sometimes, is how big the arcs are. You know, like every arc, like Alabasta, like you don't get this in other shonen kinda. Like every arc, like the thing is, the first arcs are like kind of small, right? Like they are gathering the group of the crew, you know, the main characters, and every arc there is kind of small, and it's like going on adventures, and they sometimes go onto islands that are, you know, still kind of have this little small arc, you know, like the guy in the chest, you know. But then with Alabasta it changed. Like Alabasta was like 200 new characters, 1,000 things happening at the same time, and it never calmed down again. You know, after every time they have a big arc, they have like a barbecue, right? Like, oh, we did it again, guys. And then they go to the next adventure, and the next adventure starts a little bit smaller, and suddenly there's 1,000 characters again, 1,000 things happening at the same time, 1,000 characters on every page, which isn't exactly a bad thing, but I kind of sometimes would wish One Piece would get into smaller adventures again, right? Like, obviously it's getting towards the end. Like, no, there's no end. Like, the end is happening, so big things has to happen. But I would have enjoyed a few little extra adventures on little islands, you know, things like that. You know, like, obviously One Piece will be finished soon. I would like to have some spin-offs where they're just going on fun adventures, not something that changes the course of time, you know? That's something I kind of miss. Like, doesn't make the current one worse, but, you know, look at Wano. It's like, it got like so bloated. And, yeah. And now we go to the king of shonen, Hunter x Hunter. Like, Hunter x Hunter was my favorite since I was already a kid. You know, like, I sometimes say this, but I read the Banzai, which was like the German Shonen Jump, and it had Naruto, it had Hunter x Hunter, it had like Yu-Gi-Oh! It had even Sandland, you know, like the other anime or the other manga from Akira Toriyama. It has some other stuff. And Hunter x Hunter was already as a kid made me think, holy shit, we're going on an adventure. You know, and obviously Hunter x Hunter changes a little bit. You know, like the first arc is like the Hunter exam, where they get the Hunter license, and it's like going on an adventure. But then, you know, it changes with the new arc. What's the city? It's like New York. I forgot the name that they use for it, but it's New York, and it's like mafia, and there's like auctions, and everything is like, wow, this is not like the normal shonen. It's not just fighting and fighting, it's like thinking. It's really thinking. And then, you know, back to Weed Island, it's like, oh, you know, it already shows, you know, a little bit of how deep the anime can get at certain points with the main characters. And that's a Where Are You W. That's a Where Are You W. Obviously, it's my favorite anime, but it's not the only good anime. At least someone who agrees with me on Ping Pong, at least. And then, you know, Chimera Arc End. It's like the arc in any shonen anime. It shouldn't even be in shonen. It's like, it makes you think, holy shit. Well, why should I hate it? I literally said it's my favorite too. I don't start hating things just because other people like it. And that's the thing about Hunter x Hunter. The Chimera Arc End, you know, if you've never seen it, I don't want to spoil anything, but it makes you think how it's an anime that made me cry. I actually cried. I actually cried at the end of the arc. I literally sat there pissing tears out of my eyes, you know? Like, I literally had snot coming out of my nose because I cried too much. I have to openly say that. Every time I rewatch the episode, when I see like other people reacting to it, I cry again. Like, it's really impossible for me to not watch the episode without crying. Like, it makes me feel emotions an anime has never made me feel before. Yeah, you can call me a baby, but if you would watch it, you would cry too. If you watch an episode without crying, watch it. Watch the anime. If you have nothing else to do, watch Hunter x Hunter. Or read the manga. Watch the anime. In the anime, it's like, it makes you cry more. And obviously, the bad thing with Hunter x Hunter is it's always on hiatus. Like, he makes 10 new chapters every 2 years, and then he fucks off again. But these 10 chapters have more anything in there than anything else. Yeah, I cried watching it. Don't tell me you watched it without crying. You probably never... You probably... What, episode 135? You know, the one... Like, literally end of the Chimera Arc end. Yeah, you didn't watch it. If you didn't cry, you didn't watch it. Don't listen to him, guys. Is he the guy who's married to the magical girl creator, so he can basically... No, the thing is, he's married to the woman who made Sailor Moon, but the thing is, he can do whatever he wants because he kept the magazine alive. He made... The thing is, he's the guy who also made Yu Yu Hakusho, right? And Yu Yu Hakusho was actually about adventures and stuff, but the thing is, Dragon Ball ended at the time, and Dragon Ball was gone. And then Shonen Jump was like, holy shit, we are plummeting with our sales. We need to have something that can make people buy it again. And then they basically told him, can you make more fights? Like, there's like this whole fighting arc in Yu Yu Hakusho, and it basically was because they told him make more fights instead of adventure. So they forced him to change his manga, and he has to work himself to death basically, and that's why he get like this chronic back pain, and that's basically their fault for making him work so much. And that's why he gets like this extra role where he can just basically say, for 3 years I'm not going to make anything anymore, and then he can come back. You know, any other one would have their manga cancelled, right? But he had like this status because he saved their asses, and they were responsible for him kind of working himself to death almost. So the one thing I don't understand is he should just say, let other people do it. Like, he should just write the script, he should write the dialogue, the story, but the other people draw. That's what would make it good. It would continue still being good. Like, obviously, it would be... You could probably notice a little bit of it missing, like the soul, that he's not the one drawing it anymore. But it would be better for his health and stuff. Like, he can't even stand up sometimes anymore. Like, in every, you know, volume, there's like a little note where he says like what he did. He showed his work to show, hey, I'm back, guys, but he didn't tweet again because it's on hiatus again. I follow him. And yeah. The one thing I don't get is the new arc. He introduced, no kidding, he introduced 400 new characters. Everyone with their own ability. Then he has like 200 old characters getting involved. It's like, bro. The thing is, if you only watch the anime, it kind of stopped at a good time. There's still open endings, you know, like you still want to know what Kurapika fucking does. But, you know, Gon kind of has an ending. Killua kind of has an ending. Ryoryu is a doctor. He kind of has an ending. Like, if you only watch the anime, everything is kind of wrapped up. Like, it could have been a good ending, but he came back, introduced 600 new characters, a new whole continent, a new whole world, and then he fucked off again. And, you know, I have the feeling it will never get an end. And it makes me sad. Okay, let's count how many I've watched here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 32 makes it 68. We were so close to 69, boys. I should have watched one more anime. It's fucking over. I should have watched Lupin the Third. Yeah, pull up the banana fish. No, I have never seen it before. I literally googled what the fuck that is, and I have never seen banana fish before. I never heard anyone mentioning it. It's like, what the fuck is that shit? Oh, I saw some nice Nami fan art. My mom beats me if she sees me watching anime. I have to say, that's good. Now, she's just trying to put you on the right path of life. Why are you talking about Ocarina of Time, Sandy? We didn't talk about Navi. So. And you don't seem to, that's the only good thing about Lane, the opening. Everything else about Lane fucking sucks. And it's probably the most pretentious anime I've ever watched. But now people will say, no, it's not pretentious. It actually tells something about society. Ah, no, internet bad. Oh, phone bad. No, I saw Nami. Nami is different from Navi. Because Navi is like Link's fairy in Ocarina of Time. And yeah, I played more games than I watched anime. I mean, actually, you know, since I didn't really watch much anime, 16:8. I mean, I mostly watched all the ones you need to watch, kinda. Like, what is like an anime in the last 10 years that everyone needs to watch? None. Like, modern anime is like something about modern anime is like so bad. But that's the thing, you know, only One Punch Man season 1 is good. Season 2 is like trash. So you know, is it over? It's over. Everyone should watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Kinda, but also, I would also recommend the first version, you know? Watch this. This makes me wanna jump off a cliff. Standalone? No, it has also one of the best anime openings with Rewrite. Like, Rewrite is one of the best anime openings of all time. Also, where I just opened up Twitch and Nuru Sama is collaborating with another VTuber? No way. I have to watch her. Wait, is she collaborating with another hacking AI, or is this actually a normal human? What am I watching here? But yeah, I've done a list. My voice is kind of fucking me today, so I wish you happy Christmas, happy good night, and what else is there to wish someone? What if I just never go offline again? What if I just keep the stream online forever and never talk again? I will just, you know, have this open and never stop stream. How would that make you feel like? Probably nothing. Because you don't have emotions. I don't have emotions either. Quite.